fix something on the stream real quick. I gotta say it's push to talk. Hey team, let me get push to talk on. I'm gonna start the stage for now. There's not a single person on our team that was on OCD yet, so we should be. Oh, crap basket. I'm on push to talk. Hold on. I've been on push to talk this whole time. Hold on. Yes. Nah, it's because I have it for. Wait, no, I'm not on push to talk for stream. What? Hold on. I gotta fix this. Alright, greetings, welcome everyone to our post-disbandment Q&A. Joining me today, I have both myself, Alula, Lunaria, absoluteAquarian, and Oskyli. We will do proper introductions going forward, but for now, let's just keep the ball rolling here. And just set some expectations, what you guys can expect when we're talking here. First of all, actually, let me get my chat open on the side here. There we go. Alright, so starting off, we'll do, like I said, introductions. We'll meet the team today. You'll meet all the people who are here, more importantly, the ones who can't be here, and we'll read off what they have to say. First, we'll acknowledge the delay in speaking up, evaluating what went on behind the scenes, behind the curtains, and in general, so you guys can have a good idea of what happened. Next off, we'll do a 5-year recap, primarily talking about the main flagship games that we have. Specifically, just a short summary of the 5 years, what was completed, what never took off, things like that. And then then of course we got a wellness check, check on all of us as an individual. Again, I've got answers for the people who aren't here and the people who are here. And last but not least, future expectations, what you can expect for the Harpy franchise, for us as developers, for us as individuals. And of course, we'll wrap things up with another Q&A where you guys can freely ask any questions. For those of you tuning in at home, welcome. This is very atypical from my normal streams, but keep in mind this is something that needs to be done. So, there we go. Speaking of people that are just joining in. So, who are the team members? There's a lot of us. I mean, I think there was like a total of 10, maybe 12. I don't remember the exact number. But, starting off, I will go ahead and go through the rest of us here. If I could do this. Yeah. In the case, so each team member who is here today will go ahead and introduce themselves. Any absent team members will have their own intro read aloud. In the case that they do not have their introduction written out, they will only be mentioned my name. I will start, because I wrote my whole thing down. Hi, if you guys don't know me, my name is Sydney, but I'm most commonly known online as Kirbyrocket. You can call me Kirby, you can call me Sydney if you're really close with me. If I'm not your friend, don't even think about calling me that. It's kind of weird. But, I was both the front-facing community manager long before we established ourselves as a company, and I was the general manager of the company. Any business, company, or legal matters were mostly my responsibility, and I was primarily responsible for proofreading and any public-facing material you'd see on the company accounts. Whether if it was on Kickstarter, X, formerly known as Twitter, or any major Discord announcements, most of them were oversaw by me. If I'm not dealing with any front-facing content, I'd usually be responsible for creating trainings or any overall guidelines for our teams whenever things would go sideways or accountability need to be upheld, especially on a digital footprint. Now, when I'm not doing Xysspon work, I'm actually usually managing my own communities. It's usually through social game communities that I'm a part of. If not, I'm hammering away at music work specifically for the mods that I'm a part of. I play a lot of multiplayer games, specifically social games, but and sometimes competitive games. But personally, my favorite game will always be, and has always been, Geometry Dash, because it's even after over a decade, I think that game continues to produce what I would say is the best content that I've ever seen.
Was that sound from you? I can't tell.
Which sound?
There was a Steam notification.
Not for me.
Okay, never mind then. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was like, where's the sound coming from?
The demons.
Demons in my brain. I'm kidding.
Well, Loon, if you want, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Loon. I worked as a contract worker for Xysspon, and I mostly worked on cutscene artwork. You might remember me as the cutscene artist for the OG Day in the Life the Harpy game. And when I'm not creating digital artwork, I'm oil painting, crocheting, making generally art videos on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, but I'm not gonna plug it now because that's weird.
I mean, we'll be able to plug stuff near the end. I totally forgot to hit stop recording until now, so I might just have to download the VOD. Smile.
Oops.
But, it's fine. It's fine. I can download the VOD. That's not a problem. But,
I was gonna say, because Twitch has a really weird policy of keeping VODs on their like storage.
Well, that's fine. I don't have a lot of VODs on my profile. That's not, even though I've been streaming for over 10 years, I don't have a lot of VODs, because I couldn't stream consistently.
No, that's not fair. I can't do that either, and I've been streaming for 10 years as well.
Yeah. It's difficult to do. Yeah, but no, everybody will get a chance to, plug their stuff going forward, afterwards. I guess the next question is, who else wants to go introduce themselves? Because we got quite a few of you guys here.
I guess I can go next.
Alright. Go on, Oskyli.
Name's Oskyli. Pronouns are he, him. My only role at Xysspon was to be an artist for some scenes, mainly the game overs. My only occupation right now is doing commissions, which, you know, artwork. And my only hobby is artwork. I only do art. That's my only thing. That's all.
You know, I mean, having full-time artwork is still a huge thing. I mean, being able to be a full-time artist and, you know, make that as your full-time income is always an awesome thing. So, I wouldn't undersell yourself there, because that's, not everybody has the privilege or the luxury of doing that. So, cheers to that.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, that being said, what else we have? Who wants to go next? I'll start picking names.
Cold calling? Oh, that's cold.
It is. I mean, there's only three other people who haven't spoken.
Hi. My name's Penny. I did additional programming for Harpy Gaiden in 2019. I haven't really been very involved with later Xysspon projects, but I guess I've been a sense of inspiration. And you know, I work at a grocery store, but in my free time I like experimenting with all kinds of art, game design, and music and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, you definitely played, I know, definitely near the end and later stages of Xysspon, you definitely were able to play more of an inspirator role. Like, you definitely inspired us to do more, like, other, you know, yet one of the many other side projects that we had, but definitely was something that was a huge push and something that I'm really thankful to have you around. I know we had a little bit of a rough start in the beginning, like when we first established as a organization, but I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Next up, I mean, we got two other people who are here who can introduce themselves. Unless Alula wants me to read hers out loud, I can do that.
I genuinely think I'm going insane. I don't know where this Twitch notification or Steam notification came from. Where did it come from?
I'm getting gaslit by Steam.
I think I am. I keep hearing it go off, but I'm not getting any notifications.
Okay. Okay, I'll read Alula's because Alula's mic's not working. That's fine.
Oh no.
So, if you guys don't know who Alula is, well, she just goes by Alula online. She's one of the executives and one of the lead developers who mostly handled the most difficult technical tasks. This also happens to be her day job as well. She was mostly responsible for maintaining extensions to game engines used by us, the website, shaders, and among other things. Her hobbies include mostly programming and sometimes gaming and meddling with art. Now, I'm going to get this little ad-lib for myself. Alula is one of my best friends. I've known Alula for almost a decade, if not a decade by this point. At least it feels like a decade. If it hasn't been a decade, it sure as hell feels like one. Dating as far back to when I started working on my mod and music stuff. Alula's been there, and that's my goat right there. That's my fucking goat right there. I love Alula. Y'all don't understand. But, yeah, with that out of the way, hey, I think it's just you at this point. It's all yours.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sure
We
can.
hear you, yeah.
Hi, I'm absoluteAquarian. Those of you familiar with Tmod Loader may know me as being the author or developer for a popular mod. As for my work here, it was mainly programming. I worked for a good few years, I believe, on a sandbox game that we never got around to releasing. Currently, in real life, I work as a software developer, and my hobbies include programming, playing video games, and birdwatching.
You birdwatch? I didn't know you like birdwatching.
I didn't know you
Wait,
liked
I didn't know you that. Wait, that's
Yeah, I
fucking
didn't know
cool.
that either.
Wait a second. That's dope as shit.
Why didn't you tell us?
Damn,
And then-
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, you
I
need some
can't
good.
believe you worked on. You worked on a.
Oh my god.
I'd say probably around 95% of my photos within the last 2 years are just birds and insects
Dang.
and stuff.
Can't believe you hid that from us. How dare you? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, if you get any, you know what? If you get any cool bird pictures, you know, you can put them in the discussion channel, or more importantly, just put them in the group chat. I don't care, dude. I fucking love birds. I love talking about birds. Oh, dude, that's sick. Oh, that's sick.
Sure.
I actually didn't know that. I love that. Dang, okay. That covers everyone who is here. I'm gonna read the people who aren't here. Take for example, Bionicobot, which is one of our core developers who unfortunately can't make it today, or at least not yet. Maybe they'll be here later. Maybe they won't. Bio, he, him pronouns. He has done most of the programming work for Harpy since the Kickstarter had begun, as well as some artwork, enemy designs, and in quote, he's ping-ponged a lot of story and lore ideas with Jade. He's mostly responsible for most of the redesigned levels and the Game Maker version of the game before we move engines to Godot. This game is practically his adopted baby, so other than this, he works as a digital artist doing commissions for clients, and he also collects Transformers and trades them with others as a hobby. Cool stuff. I'm hoping he can be here, because there is a lot of stuff to talk about specifically. But that being said, we have one more person who wasn't able to finish or fill out their stuff, which is Seth, also known as what do I have his name is? Also known as Scrambles, but unfortunately I don't really have much of an intro. I will be going over what Seth had done, after we go through the rest of this, but for now, I think that covers everything. I would introduce Jade, but I don't think she needs any introduction, and I've asked her all the questions that we all have here, and one of the frequently asked questions that we get a lot, but unfortunately, I don't have any of that in front of me, because she didn't answer any of us, so it is what it is. We're going to keep moving, with or without her at this point. Okay, so, the delay. Why didn't we speak up so soon? Which I just realized in the stream, I'm not exactly streaming my thing here, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen on Discord. So I apologize.
I was gonna say that's why I joined your Twitch, because I was like, I can't see anything.
Yeah, totally forgot about that. It's not a. I'm just gonna point this out. For those who don't know me, anytime I host an event or I host anything, I will always forget at least one thing. I don't know what it is, but it happens every time. Alula has seen this in every show that I've run. It's not a Kirbyrocket ran event if I don't forget at least one thing. Typically, it's only one or two. If it's more than two, usually it means I've prepared it the night before. But that being said, no, the delay. Why didn't we speak so soon? Oh, Bio's here actually. You know what? Before I even get into that, I got Bio a chance to speak. Fuck yeah! Welcome back, Bio. Glad I could make it.
Hello.
Yeah, so we just covered introductions. If you want to, briefly, I read over your introduction as well, but if you have anything else you wanted to share about yourself, feel free to do so now.
My brain's a bit blank right now.
It's okay if you don't have anything. We can always come back to it, and more importantly, if anyone has anything to jump in with, you can jump in at any point. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Alright, in terms of delay, why didn't we speak up so soon? Server bans, libellus posts, and more importantly, stress. There was a lot that happened in between the time that I made that post and to today. Starting off here, I and all other administrators, meaning Alula and myself, were banned from the official server on August 8th, 2025 at 10:42 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, meaning any chance that we had to communicate with you people was cut off. Right now, the server is still left as red only, and she has not changed it since. I'll be honest, I don't expect her to.
You being Jade?
Yeah, it's Jade being Jade. She's like, oh, I'll change it, I'll do this, I'll make the new rules, da-da-da-da-da, and, we don't get anything. And I'm not doing that as a means of slandering her or trying to, put her down, but, I mean, even when it came to this Q&A, we had gave her questions to ask, because I didn't want her here, to be honest, and she didn't even answer any of them. She had over 12 hours to do it, and I'm just like, at this point, I don't even know how to help you. I just don't. So, any opportunity we've tried to speak with her, it has not worked in our favor, so. And then finally, of course, the libelous post on X, formerly known as Twitter, from the company account. Now, these posts were removed 24 hours later, but defamatory claims were made on X and Twitter, on X, also known as Twitter, on August 9th, 2025 at 1:35 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, with the messages being deleted approximately 24 hours later. Now, I could read them. I'm not going to. I don't care about them, because, again, libellus posts, and at some point we had considered doing a cease and desist, specifically saying to stop posting from all company related material, knowing that the company account is now dissolved, or the company is now dissolved, but we'll keep it moving from here. I think the only other stressful thing that I could talk about before I even get to this next slide was probably I think the thing that stressed me out the most was seeing her reach out to other developers trying to rejoin the development server, essentially create a Xysspon 2, which I I don't I don't fuck with that. For lack of better words, I can't keep that professional. I don't like that. I really don't. It is, disrespectful to all the people involved. But that my opinions are for later. We'll keep it rolling here for now. On the 5-year recap, I scrolled way too far. On the 5-year recap, what did we accomplish in 5 years' time? So primarily, we'll be just keep on. We'll start with the recap on the development of our flagship game. This section will mostly focus on Harpy Gaiden DX and Harpy Star. All independent events will be discussed later within this presentation. And to be honest, we don't have a lot written down because I wasn't entirely aware of a lot. So keep that in mind here.
Be able to fill in some of it.
Yeah.
Like, I have a terrible memory.
We'll fill in where we can. I mean, a lot of this is very foggy, and a lot of because again, it was like sporadic stuff. I'm not surprised. But yeah, no, let's keep it moving here. Starting with Harpy Gaiden DX. So what happened? Well, we had the Kickstarter initial scope. The campaign had been launched on the 4th of December in 2019, and ended 1 month later. With $1,325 in pledges in total, reaching the $1,200 stretch goal, which meant extra playable characters, a Steam Workshop, 2 extra levels, and a Steam release. Upon the end of the campaign, the game was set to release on iOS and Steam, and the team initially just included me, Jade, Xysspon, who is a former, I think she was the lead or executive. I don't know. We had to remove her for legal reasons. Using the version, I was hastily editing it. No, I can go ahead and take the latest version. I downloaded this at like maybe 30 minutes ago. Okay, give me a second. I'll get to that. But no, just let me go ahead and refresh here. I'm gonna refresh the Q&A. But yeah, no, our initial goal was to publish Harpy Gaiden DX as a polished commercial release of Harpy Gaiden, released in 2019, and with itch.io as a freeware game. Let me go ahead and re-download this PowerPoint here. Went ahead and download this, put it in the same spot that was at. Alright, let me go ahead and restart the PowerPoint. I can... Oh my god. Oh, my PC!
What?
I'm restarting the stream. I'm restarting the not the stream, but the PowerPoint.
Take your time.
Did you keep the changes that I made on the slide with Seth, actually? No, you didn't. Okay. That's fine. Alright, let me scroll a little bit in advance here. Alright. So... I'm losing myself. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, cool. Alright, so, keeping it going here. If I look at keep my chat open, that'd be nice. Yeah, our initial goal was to publish Harpy Gaiden DX as a, what? Oh my god. Yep, it's not a Kirbyrocket event if I don't forget at least one other thing. God damn it. There we go. Okay. So yeah, upon the end of the campaign, we were set to release on iOS and Steam. The game included me, Jade, Xysspon, and several outside contributors. The people that we had to remove for legal reasons, we will not include them. I don't have any reason to introduce them, and to be honest, I have no interest in introducing them. But on the 3rd of February 2020, Xysspon LLC was formally registered as a company, and this was done to meet the requirements of mobile app stores in order to publish their games under studio names and work as an organization rather than it being uploaded by, like a personal name. Take, for example, on the Apple App Store. If you want to have anything but your first and last name be as the publisher, you have to have a registered company. So we went to go do that, and that was the result of that. Now, Harpy Gaiden DX. Now, this was the work in progress that started in March 2020. The planned version of Harpy Gaiden for iOS, based on the Android Pocket Edition, began development. April 2020, wow, English. I swear I speak it. I'm just struggling today. Harpy Gaiden iOS was scheduled to release on April 30th, and the release got pushed back due to unexpected issues. I mean, a lot of this had to do with Duns and Bradworths, mostly just getting issues in terms of, getting everything sorted. There was also a huge performance issue. I remember back in April 30, when we were testing it in April. I remember there was a lot of overheating issues on iOS, and I had no idea how to fix that. I'm not the programmer. I'm kind of the front-facing person, and I was testing it before release, and oh my god, it felt like I had an oven in my hand.
Oh gosh.
It was bad. Like, for lack of better words, it was really bad. Like,
It was tough.
it was enough for me to say, this can't be released right now, because
No.
the overheating was really bad. And granted, I was on an older iPhone at the time, but still, overheating is a huge issue, and I will never not acknowledge it.
And plus, not everyone has a up-to-date iPhone anyway. Like,
Exactly.
Not everyone has the money for that.
Exactly. That was kind of the biggest concern, so we kind of like delayed it, so that way we could figure out what was going on there. And I guess we never really did, to be honest. Now, Jade announced the decision in August 2020 to release Harpy Gaiden DX on iOS instead of the Pocket Edition, and this is the first instance of scope growth beyond the initial plan. Now, in September 2020, that's when Bio joined us on the team and is responsible for developing most of Harpy Gaiden DX from code from now, especially afterwards. I mean, I think Bio's been, after this point in September, Bio is just on top of that day in, day out, so that's the GOAT right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, in November 2020, we had the development team began to grow in size yet again, and unexpected issues, and the scope of the game kept being expanded further and further, and the release got pushed back until 2021. Again, I can understand things are happening. I'm not really worried at this point, so we keep it moving here. I'm not tabbed in, crazy. Been a Bongo Cat, that's why. Then Harpy Gaiden DX, a little bit more about this. 1 year in, January 2021, the game starts going through a major overhauls and rework. Wait, is this Twitch stream fixed? Twitch stream is not fixed. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna fix my screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is it stuck on the first slide?
I don't listen. It's not a Kirbyrocket event if I don't mess up at least one thing.
Oh, there's the little work in progress star power drawing of Ratty that I did.
That was you? Oh.
Yep.
There
Nice.
we go.
Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah.
In the
It's
stream. Yep,
top
there we
right
go. I
corner.
see it now.
Yeah.
We see
Yeah.
your notes as well, though.
No, it's fixing itself.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, like, just for those who missed the previous slide, this is what we had here. And, of course, this was the other slide as well, while I was reading all that. We are going to go back here. Okay, cool. We are Gucci. So yeah, no, January 2021, more overhauls, artwork, gameplay, and level design areas. No set release date. The game is under very active development. Like, we are working on this day in, day out. There was not a single month. There was not a single day in that month that I could see there, or at least a single week where there wasn't a comment made. April 2021, the Steam page for Harpy Gaiden went live. Oops, I went too far. And in May 2021, the Android version of Harpy Gaiden is set to be updated with new content post-release. One of the most notable changes at this point is controller support and difficulty selection, which I still have the backbone controller that I was using to help test a lot of the controller support, which was not a problem at all. Then at this point, my personal GOAT, Alula, joins the Xysspon team as lead developer and an executive. In regards to the game, the collision system was being rewritten, various bugs had been fixed, music and sprites were being remastered. What you're hearing on stream is actually the old OST. I don't have the new one offhand. I don't care to get it. I'm not gonna lie, don't get me wrong, it's really good. I just don't care to, to go tooth and nail to actually try to find it. Afterwards, Seth, also known as Scrambles, who unfortunately was not able to be here, had joined the Harpy Gaiden DX dev team in September 2021. They were mostly responsible for helping out with levels, in addition to, I believe if I go back here, I'm going back to my notes here. In addition to crab baskets, background and concept art, the game at this point goes under various changes based on the testers' feedback. Finally, Harpy Gaiden DX receives an initial port to Android with touch and touchscreen control support. And at this point, again, I feel we're ready to release, but
At this
Harpy
point,
Star.
We hadn't gotten the 2 extra levels done, and there was no Steam Workshop support.
Right. But I mean, on mobile, with that, the levels are one thing, but the workshop support was not, that's not a thing on mobile, so I wasn't going to worry about it. But at this point, Now we're in Harpy Star. Question mark? Well, year 2 of development, here we go. Harpy Gaiden DX gets internally rebranded as Harpy Star, and the team internally expresses concerns about going far beyond what was intended at Kickstarter. And you can see the message, my screenshots on the right.
I think you're going for ad break on Twitch right now.
It's okay. I mean, the VOD, we'll worry about that because on the VOD. I mean, if you guys want to listen to it without it, it's fine. But, you know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was wanting to.
No, you good. I appreciate the notice, though.
Mm-hmm.
Going over here, Harpy Gaiden DX gets internally renamed to Harpy Star, and as you can see, we're all, you know, kind of concerned about how this is going far beyond what was originally intended for the Kickstarter. And, you could see this is the first instance of dismissiveness that does happen, where it says nobody will complain about having new or more polished content if we explain the name change and content updates. I still disagree with this to this day. I didn't like how we were going way above the scope. Now, the rebrand was announced to the public, and there's no set release date for the game, so, you know. As a side project, a prototype of the Godot engine port intended was to closely follow the existing team is being developed by Alula. This was in July 2022, and the team decides to familiarize themselves with Godot in order to use it in the future. Now, I will say that there was a point where I was kind of, as far as I was concerned, because, you know, I'm not a programmer. If it was easier to work in Godot, then fine. But I felt like releasing this might have been a little bit of a overreach. But the way it was phrased to me, it seemed like it was gonna be better in the long term. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fight you on something I can't prove is something that's gonna be not beneficial. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember the word.
I can personally give more context as to the name rebrand and the reasonings as to why we started going beyond initial scope.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, the initial name rebrand is purely because of the fact that Ninja Gaiden still had a significant amount of name recognition. And just the amount of confusion that I personally would see whenever I would mention the game to other people. I'd consistently get people being like, oh, is it like Ninja Gaiden? And that's like on that initial first impression, which is kind of important. Like, kind of felt like it'd be a good idea to give it a different name. Okay. And it was also because of the fact that the scope was increasing. And the reason why the scope was increasing was because we were getting to a point where we were like, we need to get to a better financial situation. We need to make sure this game is as good as possible so that we can get to a sustainable position for ourselves. Because of like personal life details, we wanted to make sure that we could get to a stable position as fast as possible. And in the Game Maker version, if we had stayed course with Game Maker and kept working with it, it would have been a lot more likely to happen, but we couldn't have known that at the time.
Right.
We swapped to Godot out of because we didn't like the direction that Opera was going with its licenses, and we consistently were having issues even logging in to edit the game. And that was it's mentioned later.
Not to cut you off. That is mentioned later. So we do right now. We are in 2022. So we'll touch in. You can touch a little bit on that when we get there. But
we were also experiencing performance issues limits of Game Maker at this point.
That is true. I did mention the performance issues, especially on the overheating on mobile devices. So definitely something.
Yeah, it started overheating on Android too, which is
That was the concern too. So definitely an issue going forward, but we will keep it going here for now. Let's see. We are in August 2022 now. Harpy Star 2022 teaser has been published. 4 out of 10 planned stages are available to testers, remaining with the remaining still being in work in progress. And in November of 2022, 7 out of the 10 stages are being developed at this point. I will do a brief pause for a moment for anyone, because I know this is a lot of information. Any questions, comments, concerns from anyone either on the team, anyone in the audience? Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? I don't know, anything for me? I'm gonna give you guys like an extra minute or two, because I also need to drink water.
Not for me, you're fine.
Okay.
Don't got anything either.
Thank you, Lunowski. Okay, cool. I got my water. We're good. We're good. All right. Cool. Going forward, we've got, if I can here, tab into PowerPoint properly. There we go. So, in year 3, significant shifts started happening. In January 2023, development was still ongoing. The core dev team concludes during a casual discussion that the biggest development bottleneck is the level design. Now, in February 2023, the first progress report, which is when I started asking her, we noted that development has slowed a decent amount, but has far from halted. The optimistic target for the release date has been set to the second half of 2024, and it hadn't happened, but we're hoping that we were hoping optimistically that this could happen. Godot 4.0 releases and previously experimental port gets migrated and is being developed as a side project by Alula at this point. Now, GameMaker's new subscription requirement for future runtime updates prompts an abandonment of GameMaker version and a full switch to Godot engine, and the core dev team concluded that it'll benefit in the project in the long term due to a significant shift in our initial vision. And Bio, this is where you can specifically talk about that if you want to get into it in the more nitty gritty.
Okay, yeah. So this is also a point. Part of the reason why progress slowed a decent amount was because I had a medical issue, and that prompted me having to start taking up art commissions in order to pay off medical bills, and that started eating into time, prompting a lot of that slowdown. And that started piling on a lot of stress, and that's where stressors really started. At least from my perspective, like things were getting like antsy at that point, because you could feel the progress slowing down, and it was like kind of demoralizing at times. Like we'd have like spurts of like good progress and development, but whenever that like next month deadline for getting like the next part of a bill came up, I would have to like bunker down, work on commissions. So
Yeah.
it would become very stop and go at that point.
Yeah, and it definitely was a lot. I know it was definitely a lot more tough as we were getting closer and closer to, you know, the internal deadlines that we were trying to host, and that way we could get this. I can't say you were the only one that was dealing with medical issues as well. I know, if I recall correctly, Jade was also dealing with significantly worse medical issues, including more frequent seizures. I'm not going to get into everything, I know, but it was more frequent seizures, stuff like that. Things that were required to be hospitalized.
And a lot of, around this point, if I remember correctly, a lot of, like, significant, like mental health issues due to, like personal life reasons.
Yeah. I mean, and there, at some point, which I'll mention this, at some point there was a point where we said, hey, at some point we could just go back to Game Maker, and she had no interest in going back to Game Maker at all. And I'm not sure if she was kidding on that last part, but at some point the idea of putting Harpy in 3D did come up. I'm not sure if that was just her just joshing around or if she meant that with some ounce of seriousness, but again, bigger scope creep was palpable in this case. And as a result...
3D... Oh, sorry.
I'm just saying as a result, I mean, we could see, like, the writing was on the wall, like, the health, it seemed like after all the physical health conditions started getting worse, the mental health was getting a little bit worse from here, but keep going, Bio, that's all I had to say.
So 3D models were specifically made. I'm not sure exactly when they were made, but they were made to assist with making sprites for the characters. That, if anything, was only a boon to development speed in terms of making like character animations and stuff like that. So that was like a proper productive thing. But in terms of 3D in the game engine, so we have Godot, like, because of the fact that we could do like a lot more with placing a lot more things down in it. At first it was a pseudo 3D effect that we were going after with a bunch of parallax. like up to now, the current idea is to utilize like 3D aspects of Godot's engine in combination with 2D for the purpose of billboarding them to get a more efficient way of placing things down and editing levels in Godot. Because a big restriction on Godot is its editor is very, very clunky in the 2D editor layout. It's like not nearly as user friendly as GameMaker, which is a large part of why I really miss GameMaker, because it was just slapping down rectangles.
And that huge drag and drop made it even easy for me to try picking up something, and that was something that I definitely appreciated about GameMaker, even when I wasn't much doing programming at all, because I was trying to learn GameMaker by working on significantly smaller scope projects, specifically during during the later stages. I think it was 22, maybe 23, where like I sat down, try to get some ideas of like, I think it was like a simple match 3, and I was able to get at least some project progress, but that was it. But
yeah.
Going forward, actually, do you have anything else you want to add, Bio?
Nothing at the current moment. Your stuff later into the year.
Okay. Yeah, and go ahead, Penny.
Sorry. I'd like to add, I don't know if it's stuff that comes up later, should I bring it up later?
Yeah, when we get, if it's something that comes up later, then I would bring it up when it comes up, not like right now.
Okay, because I did have thoughts on the 3D stuff.
Was it like the 3D stuff from 2023?
No, it was like later 3D stuff from like this year.
Oh, fuck, that's right, we did 3D stuff in 2025 too. Fuck, okay, alright. Totally forgot about that part. Alright, and last but not least, at this point, Marrel, also known as Eden, joins the Harpy Star development team, which I don't think I introduced Marrel. And I didn't introduce her. Well, she's been they, it, I don't remember pronouns. She, it, they. I'm gonna go with it. It's been around for a while. It's been around for a good while. Very active in our team ever since joining in October 2023. So, really thankful for them. I bear with me. I'm gonna struggle with this one. Marrel knows I struggle with pronouns, and it's never in a malicious way. I just fucking struggle to remember. But no, Marrel's been a huge help ever since, and we will go into everything that has been done specifically there. All right.
If I remember, they were a huge help with porting things to Godot.
Yeah, they were a huge help in the Godot. Like, I would join the dev voice chat, and they would be, hammering it down, and I'd ask, hey, what are you doing? It's like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Can you show me how this works? Marrel, I will say this. I love Marrel, if not Eden, however you want to refer to it. It would always tell me how things were laid out, how they work, and break it down in a way that I can understand it in layman's terms, because I'm not a programmer. I don't understand shit. I really can't keep this professional here. I really can't. I really just can't. I can't understand a lot of stuff in terms of like programming. So, like, genuinely, Marrel taking over development when Alula wasn't available was awesome, and I'm so thankful for that. And oh, dude, hold on. Hey, Alula, I know this is not in the PowerPoint. Do you have the screenshot of the ultimatum? Because I know I gave it. I don't know if I put it in the group chat or if I put it in there. Yeah, because if you have it, I'll pull it up as a separate image. But for now, I will go ahead and read the rest of this here. In February 2024, the first progress report of the year, because I do kind of ask every year, where are we at? How are we doing? What can we expect? Because I don't know a lot. Again, I'm not a programmer, so I don't know what's going on half the time. Outside of, like, if I look at GitHub changes, I'm like, okay, but what does this mean, So we detailed an overhaul of the games, the gameplay, and art. Concurrently, the team struggled with the limitations of the bleeding edge of Godot 4.0, which was not yet fully equipped to support our development needs. In June 2024, the second progress report of the year is released. The team is heavily focused on polishing the demo, with the main playable area and mostly laid out. and a significant amount of the time is dedicated to playtesting, refining, making design adjustments, and it's also announced that part of the team will be attending Anime Expo later this year. I know Marrel, also known as Eden, was there. Jade
I
was
would love
there.
to there.
Lunaria was there. There was like one more person, wasn't there?
Sodapone.
Sodapone was there. Sodapone was just a tester though.
Yeah, I don't know who else is there. I think Callie was there.
I don't.
Yeah, Callie was there.
Callie's not even a
Yeah.
part of the team. Not even a tester. She's just that's kind of just a friend.
Yeah,
so.
like just around.
Yeah. But it was
Okay,
I'll
like
have something I do wanna
team is
say
like close, like very closely tied to a friend group centric thing.
right.
Yeah. I do want to say that when I was there at Anime Expo, Jade was really adamant on me being the resident extrovert of the friend group for me to be the one to shill her game, quote unquote, her exact words, and it put a lot of pressure on me to be a face of the company that I wasn't even meant to be. I was there just for fun. I wasn't there to be an employee, you know.
Wait a second. I didn't know that.
I
What?
didn't know that either.
What the fuck? Excuse my language. What? That's not okay. If that had happened and you told me, I would have talked about that internally. Because accountability wise, I will say this because I'm someone who's been going to conventions for over 10 years and I work at a lot of conventions. You can post the ultimatum screenshot here if you want to, Lula. I'm gonna put it in the PowerPoint in a moment here. But I have always been the person that says, hey, conventions are supposed to be for fun. I want you to have fun. I do not want you to overwork yourself. And more importantly, you don't have to go ahead and, make it your entire personality to advertise for your game because these are people. We're all gamers and we're all people and we want to make sure that, we're speaking in a conversation, not as, a salesperson trying to give you a product. Yes, we do want you to take a look at our product, but not going to go ahead and be like, oh, go check out my game. Have you ever heard of Harpy Star? Like, I'm not gonna do that.
That sucks having to hear that, honestly, because that's basically what I had to do.
Yeah, I would have never, like I said, I asked, and that's why I asked for a lot of the business cards. I got the business cards that you had from Anime Expo. When I went to PAX East, I made a conversation. I talked to several developers. I even got to talk to some of the big name developers, like the people behind Dead by Daylight. Very nice people, by the way. I don't like Dead by Daylight, but they're very nice people, and I can't get mad at. I can never hate a game I can never hate the developers behind a game if they're just really nice people. So
Exactly, yeah.
But no, oh man, dude, that I wish I knew about that. There's a lot of things I'm learning just now. I'm just gonna say this right now. There's a lot of things I'm learning from this. Jesus Christ, makes me. I will say, Lunaria, I am very. That you're, confiding with this specifically, both in this Q&A and more importantly in a way that's going to be helpful for everyone. I want to thank you because that tells me that the decision to disband was the right decision in my opinion because again, and this was the same thing I told all teammates that I got to interact with. If you have any problems, you have any concerns, if you don't feel comfortable going with any of the other executives, talk to me. We're a team. I might not be able to help always, but, I want to make sure I can at least give you, a voice that lets you, at least feel like, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions matter, especially when it comes to your intentions when you go places. I don't want, especially when it comes to anything going forward with me personally, with any team that I have, I will never make someone do something if they don't want to. Like, I think the best example is when I did a meetup for my personal community. Slightly off topic, but it's tangentially related, so I'll tie it back in. When I did a meetup for my social game community, I offered the people who were going to be representing the community to work at the convention, so they not only would able to get paid for their time, not on my dollar, but on someone else's dollar. They'd be not only be able to get paid for their time, but also they'd be able to, to get in without having to pay $280 to go attend all 4 days.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big freaking deal, and I got them in. We had a great time. And I'm like, hey, if you want to talk about my game, I'm going to do a little meetup. If you want to join me, great. If you want to go ahead and watch something else, I know there's a concert going on right now and there's a panel going on there. Yeah, if you don't want to join, totally okay. Not a problem. I'm not going to make you guys do that. But, dang, that sucks. That pisses me off. Wow, I really didn't know that.
I think Soda was also subject to the same thing. Not on the same level, obviously, because she's not as, I would say she's more of an ambivert than me. But she still had to bear some of the weight of that.
I'll talk to Soda later on that one. That's actually something I didn't know. I'm definitely not okay with that. So that being said,
I've had a year to get over it. It's all right.
I mean, yeah, it's been what? There's been at least 2 anime expos since then, but you know,
Mhm.
yeah, no, just one. I can't count.
Yeah, it's 2020, not 2024.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's 2024, not 2023.
yeah.
There we go. I could do math. Yeah.
It's okay. Counter. I hardly know her.
Mm-hmm.
Also, at some point between 2023 and 2024, something that really knocked the teeth out of any productivity, by the way. Like, I just now remembered, there was like an entire year of which I used to take like medication for helping with ADHD. And like, this is health details, but it is important because like that is my ability to focus. That is my ability to have the executive functioning to be able to do things, to be
Right.
able to sit down, focus, program. For an entire year, no medication, like in terms of that. So working on the game became extremely difficult, especially considering like with how it was with Godot. Like it was in the middle of the engine switch, all of that.
Right.
So I was thinking it over in my head, and it's like, yeah, that's probably something that really is needed added context.
Yeah. In layman's terms, it was the medical neurodivergence, medical issues regarding the treating the neurodivergency that ultimately made it a little bit difficult to sit down, focus, and get things done. So but that's just to summarize it in a sentence. I'm sure there is a lot more nuance to that entire sentence, but that's
Yeah.
everything there. In February 2025, now internally, I think at some point, Alula, you can correct me on this one. At some point, I said I want to have a demo by PAX East, because I knew I was going to be there. Same thing with PAX West. I knew I could be there for PAX West. Last year we were trying to aim for PAX West, and that way, you know, hey, this time you could actually go. You know, it's something that's within reach, and it's not crazy far of a distance from California. I think it's like if I recall correctly, the last year it was to get a flight from even where Jade is from all the way to the Seattle airport, and even to stay at the same place, it was like $89 for the flight itself, which is
That's not too bad at all.
right.
God.
Like
Are you sure
round
it's not
trip,
Spirit Airlines?
$89.
Are you sure it's
I was
Are you
like,
sure it's not Spirit Airline?
yeah,
Like,
no,
no
it's not
offense to
Spirit.
Spirit
I was
Airlines,
flying
but-
Delta, dude. You got the snacks and everything,
What?
carry on covered.
No way.
Dude, this shit was dope. Again, I'm a huge traveler, so I'm very keen on when to book a ticket. For example, when not to book a ticket.
Yeah.
Like I got my flight to
I am
Seattle for under
too.
$200, for example.
Oh my god.
That's coming cross country from Florida. That's 6.5 hour
And you're going
flight.
against the jet stream too, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
200.
Dang, why did I? Oh, I'm kidding.
No, it's okay. Listen, y'all can hit me up later if you ever want to go to a convention. I'll tell you when the best time is to travel.
Gotcha.
You just got to tell me at least before 3 months in advance.
No,
because-
yeah, I will. Don't worry.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of, I gotta book my PAX East flights within the next 2 months. Oh, crab baskets. Where was I? Okay. Yeah. So at some point we wanted to get that demo done for PAX West and for PAX East, and I did the final report in February 2025 because the convention was happening in April, and I'm like, okay, so where are we at? You know, we're very close to the indie dev line. You know, or indie dev deadline, where we can submit. You can submit your games at PAX, no cost to you. They just have a booth that you can play it, and yeah, we got nothing.
I did not do enough to speak up and say it probably wouldn't happen.
Whoa!
I wasn't
Yeah.
like I was doing my best to say it wasn't going. Like I could not guarantee that it would happen.
Well, no,
Simply
you told me that
because
you
like
wasn't.
I was still in the middle of like getting used to like new medication and stuff like that.
You very much told me
getting-
that it wasn't, that it's likely that it's gonna happen, but you'll do your best. No, you told me, and you and Marrel told me. Jade didn't tell me anything. Jade kind of just said like, "Oh, we're in development hell. We're doing our best." Blah, blah, blah. And, like a lot of, not in a way that would make sense to me. Both you and Marrel had explained it, and in retrospect, yeah, Alula, you're right. If we didn't switch engines, we probably would have had a demo. 100%. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
100% we would have had a demo ready. But you know, at this point, you know, hindsight is 2020, and it got to a point which there were things internally that are not on this timeline that I am going to talk about. It was, I think, June 2025 and I think April 2025, where we had attempted to onboard not one, not two, but 3 different people. Actually, no, four total people. There was one in June. There was 2 in June. There was 2 in April. Specifically, when onboarding them, I had asked them questions. I would talk about it in our internal executive chat. Anything that would get forwarded in our executive chat would get forwarded to the person, so that way they could answer what I want to hear versus what their honest answer was, which was not okay by me. I said, and if I quote correctly, I might not. I'm gonna paraphrase what I said. I can't get the quote exactly. I said the fact that you're playing telephone with me as not only my teammate, but as, someone as an executive is unacceptable, because, small things turn into big things. People just don't know how to talk to each other. If I want to talk to them and I want to say I want to get my impression here, which, by the way, I didn't have a good impression of the person, so I didn't want to work with them. But afterwards, after them speaking to me personally and getting a better idea of who they were as a person, I was literally more comfortable. I was definitely more comfortable working with them. And yes, Alula is right in the side chat here. Alula was basically being a proxy between me and Jade in that situation, and it was just not okay. I shouldn't have to get a middle person to, translate for me as if I'm speaking a different language. I shouldn't. I don't think if we're speaking both English, we shouldn't have to get an English interpreter,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
yeah, and then it happened again, except when the people were getting frustrated, I'm like, hey, Jade, I need you to not be, post memes when we're talking about a serious conversation, because, it seems like you're disregarding or just, dismissing anything that they have to say. And in that instance, it ended up getting worse, because she would just act as if I didn't say anything at all, leaving a terrible taste with the people we were onboarding. And at that point, it didn't work. They didn't want to work with Jade. They didn't want to work with Xysspon, and it's a terrible impression of the company. I wasn't okay with it. It ended up being worse, and this is, I think at this point was, I won't want to say the peak of the unwell behavior, the mental health decline, because I think it peaked a while ago. But again, that was in internal friend circles, which I'm not going to mention because they're not relevant here. Not as relevant, let me clarify. But a lot of the mean-spirited comments were in friend circles versus in company places. There we go. So, in July 2025, a difficult but necessary decision was made to disband the team, and this was ultimately the best course of action to support the lead developer's mental health, well-being, and of course acknowledge the project has, after years of development challenges, was not on a viable path of completion. Was it? I think July 2025 I said I'm probably going to leave. I think at the beginning of that year I also said I was going to leave if, once we're done with the project. But it became apparent to me that we weren't going to get done with this project at all. We could have, if I gave it maybe another 7 years, sure, but I'm not going to wait that long. Let me go ahead and take off the PowerPoint real quick. I'm going to go ahead and add the ultimatum screenshot here. I don't remember the exact dates of when I said I was going to disband, but if you're saying it's July, I believe it.
So all throughout this point, up until from June to July, I'd like to add, Jade was going through a significant peak in her mental health issues. Really not doing the best. She'd try and communicate things, not able to communicate properly. And then just not able to make decisions of sound, wasn't able to make decisions all that well at that point. So I will say that, up to this ultimatum. Because, yeah. It was at the point to where I was feeling like a significantly different, person that I was talking to.
Let me go ahead and fix the streams on Twitch and on Discord.
I can corroborate that. I think by July, I guess. I mean, it had been bad and then not as bad and bad and not as bad, but I think by July it had gotten to a point where it felt like I couldn't talk to her about anything and get like a normal response.
Yeah.
It's only recently that she's become like fairly coherent, but a lot of the decisions that she made while under that state are things that are locked in for her mind,
Yeah.
which is
Yes.
it's really hard to deal with. Like, I can understand mentally why that would be the case, because in her brain, like, she was trying to communicate things. Like, she was seeing people actively distancing themselves from her, and she was freaking out over it. And it was driving even more stress. And, like, over that time period, I put myself under significant mental stress over Jade's mental health because, again, like, I've been in VC near daily, like, for multiple hours, at nearly most days since I've joined with Jade, since I joined Xysspon.
Yeah, it was like a day in, day out thing. You would not go almost a day without talking to her. I'll say I still confidently will believe that I don't think it was the most healthy decision to do. It especially bothers me knowing that her feelings to you are always not exactly as they appear, considering what I've seen her say to other people about you. I will get into that at probably off stream, but I will. I don't know. It seemed it got to a point that it was harmful to everyone involved to keep trying to push this, and I feel it really does suck because I know there was a lot of people both in my real life and more importantly in online people who were invested in the game to who were looking forward to this, and now it's just all coupled with it kind of sucks. So on August 4th, was that August 4th? Yeah, it's August 4th. Is that August 4th? Yeah, it's August 4th.
It's August 4th, yeah. It's not. We're not.
I don't remember the screen.
We're not in Australia.
Well, no, because my time clock now is set to day, month, year versus month, day, year.
Oh.
So that's why I didn't know if the screenshot was in April or in August. Either way.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we're not in Australia. Why would it be that? Then you explained.
Yeah. So yeah, either way, I mean, I wrote this. I mean, the ultimatum was something I wrote out. I had sat on it. I had gone over with all the team. I think everyone was here actually when I made this, except minus Tomate, also known as Stevie, who worked on one of our unannounced projects, which we will go into in a moment. But the option one was to release Harpy Gaiden DX under the Xysspon umbrella. I didn't care about releasing Harpy Star under it, honestly. By all means, I don't care. You know, you can keep the company, you can transfer the LLC, I'll transfer the LLC, and a statement would be released in following suit. I wanted to leave. I was not here for it. I mean, just for perspective, at this point in, I think it was June, we had done an internal debrief and a training saying that she would step down for managers. I'll actually go ahead and unlist. I mean, I have that meeting unlisted, but I'll go ahead and probably link it at some point, but it's like 26 minutes long, and like the Discord audio is very quiet. So, but at this point, I talked about some of the unacceptable behaviors, including like, you know, posting, you know, sexually explicit images without the consent of others, using derogatory slurs in other communities, and more importantly, harassing blocked users in public communities. There was a lot of things that I discussed, but those were the biggest three, and I'm like, those are not acceptable. I don't care what's going on for you. Like, you can't. Being of sound mind is not a healthy excuse that I can say, you know what, you know, I can't let that fly, because again, the company you keep around you says a lot about you. If we keep someone that is doing that kind of behavior, what does that say about anyone? Again, and I would put out the evidence for this on this PowerPoint if it wouldn't get me banned on every platform possible. So I'm not gonna do that. But I will discuss it going forward if anyone does have any questions. But now we were given the ultimatum. She had 72 hours as a result. And I wanted her to give me an answer. either to release Harpy Gaiden DX under the Xysspon umbrella, license Harpy Gaiden DX and to both myself and Alula for half the Kickstarter price, which was $662.50. And as a side note, okay, I'll let Alula speak here. As a side note, I mean, Bio, we're trying to push her towards the best decision. This is true. That we didn't just leave her in the dark here. I think it was you, Bio, actually more than just you two. I mean, I think almost all the entire dev team was like, please don't make us disband. We don't want to leave. We want to finish this project. We want to get this going here. And in her mind, it was the best decision to just do absolutely nothing. She's like, you guys are just, it's the scrapers or something.
Say
I don't remember
that it was her thinking like this was the best decision. It was her like actively like, well, one, I believe at this point she still wasn't entirely like there, and second, like she still didn't like have like a lot of an idea of what was going on, like have access to that information, like because she was having difficulty remembering things. She barely remembered things that she done the day before. Like I'd show her something that she said to me like the day before and she'd act confused about it. Like
yeah.
Like it was like around this point, like it was still like it felt like kind of weird giving an ultimatum at that point.
I think for me, and the reason that kind of really pushed this, at some point I started having a conversation. At some point I saw that she was having a conversation in another community that she promptly got banned from later. She started referring to me and my connections outside of Xysspon, specifically with like the people who I briefly would talk to as acquaintances, like for example professional voice actors. She started referring to them, saying, "Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and use her and her interactions with others, her connections with others as." I don't remember what the fuck it was, but I told her specifically, I'm like, "Hey, keep my name and my connections out your mouth. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what it is. I don't need you to be sharing my business with anyone else. Because when I tell you something about, like, my business, in most cases, if it's not, like, something I publicly do, I don't need you to talk about it. I'm talking to you as a friend. I just want to confide with that. I'm not raising it around, like waving it like a flag. Like, it's not like I'm being a patriot about it. I just want to go ahead and, hey, this is a cool thing I have. I think it's pretty neat. It's like when I said, yeah, no, I made a really cool sandwich. I had some cheese, peppers, and it was pretty great. And then I go over to Billy Bob Joe in another community. Oh my god, did you hear how Kirby had the sandwich with the cheese and peppers? Dude, apparently it was really great. And I wonder if I can get her to make cheese pepper sandwiches for everyone. I'm like, no, that's not the purpose of me telling you. I'm not here for you to talk about that. But metaphor aside here, the side just from reading Alula, side note here, and both of you reading it again, we're trying to push to the best decision. And when she noticed that people loved Harpy Gaiden DX, she really wanted to save the project, and I mean, I did too. I mean, I like the game. I think it's fun. I think it's neat. But
I just think it's neat.
I think it's pretty neat. Yeah, I really liked Harpy Gaiden DX. I thought it was cool. I played Harpy Star recently, and it is not even the same game I remember even doing it. And Bio tried really a lot. I will say that. I think Bio is the one who pushed for it the most, and even a lot of people in her friend circle were also doing the same thing, saying, "Hey, this is a big decision. You should not do nothing. Something should be done. I don't care what it is. It shouldn't be nothing."
Yeah. I will reiterate from the introduction, if it was said, this game is like my adopted child. Like, I swoop in and, yeah, like, this game means, like, it's like a fifth of my life? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we were all ready to still work on it, and I'll be honest, if she had chosen Harpy, the option 1 or option 2, option 2 is ideal for me, but option 1 was I was like I think that was the best option. You said, hey, you work on we publish Harpy Gaiden DX. The backers are off the hook. They got what they promised. I'm off the hook because I don't have to go do something that I know isn't gonna happen. And then last but not least, we are A-okay from here, right? Like, at that point, if I want to leave, I can do exactly what I want to do. Once we're done, I can transfer the LLC, and then what happens after Xysspon is not on my problem. That's not my problem, not my belt. Option 1 is what likely would have happened if Jade was communicative. I agree. I think option 1 would have happened if she was communicative and of enough sound mind to make things work. But that wasn't the case. So it was even discussed in 2024. Yes, it was. It was discussed in our exec chat where I was just like, can we just release Harpy Gaiden and then like focus on Harpy Star later? And it was on the table, but I believe she said, no, this game sucks. We're gonna work on Harpy Star, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that sorry.
So what was discussed was bringing on other people to work on it. It was never like we were I was still like in the mindset of wanting to work on the new thing, like the thing that was like actively like invigorating to work on, like new design, like creating like the interesting design, stuff like that. Because like in the middle like of doing, like I love designing things, I really do. Like
Yeah.
I recently did a game jam, and like it kind of showed that I know my things. So like it like kind of reminded me of that, even though it was in Godot. Like, yeah, Gaiden DX not perfectly designed, but it probably was good enough. Like, it was like, it's at this point to where Jade just isn't confident in its ability to do well.
Yeah.
Like, because for her, like, she knows that she can do better, and she can't stand the fact. And like, I'm oftentimes like that too. But like recently with my commissions, I know I can be doing better with my commissions, but like I've gotten to the point to where I just need to get things out.
Yeah, I had talked with Jade pretty much all year about, even though I haven't been very hands-on with the project, I've been talking to her all year about getting something out, and pretty much every time I'd bring up Harpy Gaiden DX, she'd say like, no, we can't release it. It's not good. We need to release something good.
And I will say the living motif of not good enough has been around even before the Kickstarter. Funnily enough, the reason. Dude, no, not even just. I'm not even gonna talk about the projects before Harpy, because I don't care about them. I don't care about Mugen Echo at all. I never have, and even when it comes to that recurring motif here of this is not good enough. The reason why I did the Kickstarter was I'm saying, hey, if we just need money to port it, we can just get what we need to port it, and then we can pay out of pocket for the next couple of years if it should push comes to shove. So, and that wasn't a problem, and she was fully confident. She's like, you know what, this is not going to succeed. We're not going to hit any stretch goals. I don't even know why you're going to do this. And my response, which was the only reason why this got approved, even to do a Kickstarter, which funnily enough, still haven't done this. I said, just as a way of saying, like, just to prove a point, I would read the entirety of Homestuck, just to say if we got at least one stretch goal. I knew we were going to get back. I didn't know if we were going to get stretch goal, but I was confident enough that we would get there. And yes, we did. We did hit not only one stretch goal, we hit 3. So, easy. Once that confidence, settled in, she's like, oh my god, this is real. We can actually do this, But the self-doubt continued, and it was almost as if nothing ever happened. So, I don't know. I can't say
Yeah,
I'm
then I stepped in and I started making good levels.
like I can't say I'm surprised with how things played out, but it definitely is, for lack of better words, just unfortunate.
I
And I know
I think the
Alula feels directly responsible for part of this failure as well. And the push towards Godot was also part of Alula's own perfectionism. So we all learned that at one point that perfectionism does kill both projects, motivation, and overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I think
we
I
had
became
to go and at when it was Harpy Star, but also in the Game Maker engine. That was peak. That was when it was peak. That was when we were making the silly coppers that have the people grabbers, and they would do complicated enemy AI stuff, and it was amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say the reason I became so disillusioned with the project is because I think I guess quite a few years ago at this point I realized that Jade is not really big on the idea of iteration, of the idea of making something and then releasing it and then making the next better thing. And it kind of just felt like she was stuck in a cycle of constantly wanting to make the best thing, but because her art skills were improving, you know, it just kept getting better and better, and scope kept getting bigger and bigger, and it just never felt like it would get there.
Right.
And I had that problem with my own, if I don't know when the time is, but I have my own very short stint working with her recently.
Right.
And that was very much a problem then.
And that was probably entirely something that was introduced by my introduction, because we would ping pong off each other essentially for improving at art and game development. And I was a contributing factor to that. But the thing is, I kind of leaned out of it once I reached a certain point, but she hasn't.
Right.
She used to make fun of me.
And there's nobody
for
to
scope
ping
creep.
pong off of her to keep up with that. Yeah.
You know, Alula also said that, what is it? I think that growing up and handling other commercial releases, though not game dev related, taught me what matters. It's a finished product at the end of the day, which is true. I learned this very on, by one of my other mentors. It doesn't matter if the product is necessarily good, so as long as the product is actually done. Because if it's bad off the start, that's nothing you can't fix. But if it's, even though it'll have the reputation of being bad, it's still something that you can address later on. But in the case of... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry for interrupting.
No, you're
ADHD
fine.
moment.
You're fine.
The Miyamoto image, delayed game, good thing, worst image ever. Directly negative impact.
I think Miyamoto has a point, but I think there's a point where the game gets so delayed that it just becomes Duke Nukem forever.
That's just that's such a fucking stupid.
Sorry, was that me?
God damn it.
We're themed Duke Nukem.
That sure as hell is a joke. Okay, but no, yeah, no, I definitely feel that in hindsight there was Shigeru me. I'm reading discussion right now. I definitely think in retrospect, could things have gone better? Yeah, sure, we could have. We probably would have had a game. I probably would not be here at this moment, but you know, right? Hindsight is 2020, I guess. You know, there's only so much we could have done. So
I'd like to mention we're fucking young as shit, and we're learning. That too.
Well, I mean,
it doesn't excuse any actions, but
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, just because we're young doesn't mean it's not. I think it's a good thing that we're learning at this point rather than finding out at a much later time
Later.
period. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not upset with how this went. It stinks, yes, but I'm not gonna cry about it. But yeah, no, August 2025, Jade was given the ultimatum. No action is taken, and then we dissolved the company. All right, but that's everything in terms of mainline stuff. Now, projects and side projects. This is the fun part. So
Oof.
here we've got, of course, we published Azarashi. We've had the opportunity of working with Daisuke Amaya, also known as Studio Pixel, and we developed and published the port of his previously iOS exclusive game Azarashi on Android. Lula, if you want to chime in on this one, you could tell us a little bit more about this one, but really much to chime in. If I recall correctly, though, this is the literal only finished product that we had. If I recall correctly, I could be wrong. I think I'm not wrong, but I'm like 99% sure this is the only product we have.
I can somehow still get like the old Harpy Gaiden Android build on my phone. Like that's there.
Yeah, Harpy Gaiden was pulled out of Google Play yesterday. That happened. Yeah, that happened. Because we didn't update. I think it was we didn't update a couple things, and since we had nothing to update with, because we switched off of Game Maker. Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. And that's not counting the itch.io titles. Yeah, and that was the only product that we released. So, okay. And then, not last but not least, we had not one, not two, but 7 other side projects here.
Heaven. Oh my god.
Yeah, we had a lot, and it never was the goddamn game. So, yeah, I think whether Falula or AA wants to chime in on this one, because I know you two were kind of like the biggest parts of some of these side projects. Didn't have a time or access to the server to document them. Don't worry about that. I know AA can talk a little more about Coastvale, which was the unreleased unreleased sandbox game that we were working on. The rest of them, I'm not gonna lie to you, Alula, the rest of the projects are so unrelated, I don't even think they're worth mentioning. No, Aqua, this one is mostly you on terms of Coastvale, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. I was trying to look in our DMs to see when you had reached out to me. When was that? Like 2021, 22?
I think so.
Yeah, Kirby essentially just reached out to me saying, hey, we're wanting to make this thing. I think you have skills, want to help out. And so I started.
Hello, you cut out.
You cut out.
Yeah, I was spamming V's in the chat bar because of push to talk. Anyway, it was just a sandbox game, and for a good while it was just me messing around with mono game, trying to get something. And at one point we did have something, and then I think it was like 3 or 4 times that I decided to completely rework the backend because I didn't know any better, and I just got burnt out and development just stopped.
Yeah. No, wait, did I reach out to you on this account, or was it the other one that I had like way back, like 8 years ago?
Oh, if you changed accounts, it was probably the previous one.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was looking at our DMs, I'm like, I don't see anything. Am I missing something? But no, I remember that was like in the very early stages of Xysspon, and when I was confident that we could get Gaiden out, and then we could work on the other side project right afterwards,
Yeah, I probably have some like photos that I could put in the Q&A chat. Like there should be somewhere on one of these computers.
That's fine.
Of screenshots that I took.
Don't stress it if you can't find anything. If we do have any questions or about them, then I'll ask you for them. But until then, I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's see. What else do we have? I think Bio, you had a couple.
Yeah.
You had a couple side projects.
I have one that I remember. Ziz RPG. Do you want me to like pull up the thingamabob?
Like screenshot stuff like that? I mean,
no, like I can just pull, like start screen sharing it.
Screen sharing the whole game? I mean, I don't remember how far did you even get on that stuff? Because I never knew how that went.
We made I made a tile editor. We got a scripting system. I made a wonderful little menuing system that was nested in design. It was really nice.
I think we'll pass on the footage though. I,
Yeah,
lo-
it's
I
very simple.
yeah, I
also
was just saying, if it's
lowered
just like a
music
menu
off
and there's
of
no
it.
gameplay outside of like
Oh
tiles
yeah,
and
there's no game.
yeah,
There's
no point in showing that. I don't want to.
like there's like statuses. There's a couple test NPCs. There is a single room, stuff like that.
It's a glorified shopping
There
menu.
is the debug crab button.
It's a glorified shopping list.
Crab button?
What is a crab? What does that mean? Actually, what does a crab button mean? Can you
It
elaborate?
applies the crab status effect to the players in the party, and they become a little crab sprite that I made. It's like the equivalent to the frog status effect from Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Oh, I never
So
played
like that
Final
was the
Fantasy,
very
but-
first status that was implemented for the characters.
Okay.
We like stopped working on it once we started implementing the 3D matrices for billboarded sprites for the battle system, because I didn't know how to.
Okay.
And so like the other programmer that I was working with that was working on it also couldn't get it working. But it was like a smartly coded thing in C++. Like that was before I started working on Harpy Gaiden. Like I had joined a little bit earlier, and that's like so that was probably before the Kickstarter even finished, I think.
So 2020?
Yeah, sometime in 2020.
Okay, so like probably before like January or February 2020.
You mind if I interject?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I found there's like 20% gifts of just the various parts of the development. Mind if I send them?
Yeah, by all means, I can go put it in the project real quick. Or in the PowerPoint, I
keep
should
it-
say.
I'm gonna have to do it in pieces.
I think my mom's home with the groceries. I'm gonna head out now to help her out. Does. So
Uh,
sorry I couldn't stay for the entire time.
No, it's okay, Loon. I mean, this has been quite longer than I expected it went to. So, if you want, I can go ahead and fill out the thing internally that we have, and I can go ahead and give you all the details. I can answer for you in terms of how we're doing stuff like that. There's a lot to talk
Okay.
about.
No worries, I'll do that as soon as I can.
Well, thank you again for coming out. I appreciate it.
No worries.
You can
Okay.
definitely
Bye,
tell.
Let's see. Where are you posting these screenshots, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
The chat for the
Oh, the side chat. Okay.
yeah, side chat.
Okay. I know Alula did work on a Harpy Party game, specifically, no, it's kind of like a Mario Party, it's like 100% orange juice thing. It was specifically in, what's it called? For when Discord added games specifically into that. It was supposed to be a Discord thing. There's also the first instances of the music changes in that version. I don't think just looking at the side footage here, I don't think this is much to show here. I mean, we do have footages. Yeah, there's not much to show.
Yeah,
I'll probably
it's
not
not
include
a
it for now. But
Yeah,
maybe
it's mainly just like very basic stuff like animations, a debug console. Just,
right.
There really much of anything of substance.
Yeah, no meat, no bones, but we did have stuff in terms of like a lot of side projects. That's really what the main point is here.
Should I share my side project?
Yeah, go ahead by all means.
Well, I guess it feels like I simultaneously worked on no projects and also 3 projects. Because what started out was I had the idea of making just like a very small Harpy type game, just because it's like hey, if you're okay with this, I can just, make something, and, if you want, you can put it out. And that's what I wanted it to be, because I don't really have the resources to make it more than just a cute little game. And it kind of went from that to, oh, let's like remake Harpy 1, but now we also have to remake Harpy 2 and 3. But also there was like an idea for a project where you play as Idra. I don't know. I wasn't completely sure, because the reason that I never really got very much involved is because I had a very clear idea, and it kind of felt like every time I presented something, the vision would change like drastically, and I didn't really know how to keep up. I don't have it, but I do have a video somewhere of Harpy Gaiden, like the original Harpy Gaiden, like in Godot, which is something I did to test out making like a new engine.
Right.
But yeah, and also that was where the 3D came up, because I remember her talking about pre-rendered. I think she talked about the pre-rendered graphics for Harpy Star at one point. I'm not sure, but she said that like my very small project that I wanted to be simple, done like in, I think it said like 2 months, like just make a few levels, put it out in like 2 months. And she wanted the environments to be like polygonal 3D environments, so it was like a 2.5D platformer, and I was just like, I cannot do that. I think even if they were not made by me, then I wouldn't be able to work with that easily. And I think the whole point was that I wanted to just do something because I noticed that the team was struggling. But yeah, it did not work out.
Hold on, you said in 2 months?
It was supposed to be like not much more than like a game jam kind of game. Like not much, like probably like even smaller in scope than like the original Harpy Gaiden.
But
Maybe
like
it was 3 months.
But she expected you to do like the
No,
2.5D.
I said,
oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
yeah, the thing is, I was like, so my vision was, I think it might have been 6 months actually. It was just like let's make just the simplest, like, here's a game kind of thing. And it went from that to Harpy Collection with a giant new story and NPC areas, and also like this Idra game. I don't remember which happened, but it very quickly went from like, oh, this is a small project that me and my team are working on, to this is a big project that Jade is working on.
Oh, hey, Jade's in our chat. Jade, did you ever go ahead and answer my questions that I had for the Q&A? I have just general ones. I know you're in Twitch chat here. But no, with that being said, what else am I missing here? I think that's all we have in terms of side projects. I might be missing something.
Oh, I think the other thing was that I had to, even a small project wasn't feasible like very early on, because I got into like medical issues, and then I picked up a job, and
right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Dude, have you been you're saying you've been typing them for over 12 hours? Are you telling me those, what, 3-4 questions taking you 12 hours? That's crazy.
Where is Jade speaking?
Twitch chat.
Oh, I see. Do you have a link to the Twitch chat?
It's just twitch.tv/Kirbyrocket.
Okay.
I had to sleep in the shower. Okay. Well, thankfully we haven't gotten to the meat of the bones where most of those questions would be answered. So you're okay there. You still got some time to type them up. I did give you separate questions. They're almost the same to what we have, but the questions that are specific towards you are the ones that only you have the access for. Take for example, the Xysspon server. Nobody's an administrator there, so nobody can do anything. So we don't know what's gonna happen with that server. Because as far as everyone knows, that server's still stuck in read only, and that's not gonna change anytime soon. So there's that.
Yeah, like I'm currently not in the like I left all the servers and stuff at one point because like I got like stressed to the point and like it was recommended to like leave stuff.
Exactly. So, the questions I gave you are specific towards you because of the fact that there's nothing anyone else can do on them. But, we'll keep it moving for here. I know I've been stuck at this page. As far as I know, I don't think there's any other side project that we can talk about, at least. Wellness check! This is my favorite part. How are we doing now? So, some of us are doing a lot better. Some of us, not so much. Some of us aren't handling the situation too well. I'm pointing and looking at bio, but overall, I would say things are a lot healthier. This is the part where I start reading. For me, personally, this was really stressful. I will say that. I will never say it wasn't. For me in general, I was, how do I say, I had to take off at least 2 days of work in total. Actually, no, I think it was a single day of work, and I came in late for 2 hours. I came in late by 2 hours one day. I actually had not only my supervisor, but my supervisor above the supervisor that is above that supervisor tell me that I needed to take off after they reviewed my call, because I work in a call center. And they said, what's got you so stressed out? Because you don't fail calls like this normally. And I told them what was going on specifically, just a brief rundown, and specifically what I may have to deal with as a result. And in turn, she said, hey, take off Tuesday. You have to make up that time, but you need to take off because you're not okay, and it's very clear you're not okay. So after that, things have been pretty okay. You know, I got the legal consultations that I needed. Right now, we don't need to do anything. Logistically, it doesn't make sense to do anything in terms of any, legal action, as I mentioned earlier in the slide. But should that change at any point, we have the steps, and it's logistically feasible to take. If anything does happen, we do need to take legal action. There's like a step-by-step process that we can do that becomes more and more logistically sound, depending on how bad it gets from here. But in terms of that, I'm okay. Now, before I let anyone else talk about how they're doing, I am going to go ahead and share a little bit of what other people are who can't be here. For example, Marrel, also known as Eden. Marrel said that it's feeling okay. Marrel cared a lot about Xysspon and Harpy Star, but Marrel had seen the writing on the wall for a while. I mean, it wishes things hadn't turned out this way, but it already made peace with the company dissolution by the time it happened. So there's that. Alula, I'll read your answers here too. For Alula, the whole situation was very stressful and draining, and honestly doesn't want to really comment more than further than that. So there's that. And Loon, who unfortunately had to leave early today, that's not early, it's been almost 2 hours. Tired, but she's glad it's over now. Is it she or they? I don't remember. She. Cool, I'm right. Alright, for the rest of you, Bio, AA, Penny, and Osky, you can figure out who's going first here. You guys can share how you guys are doing so far.
Facing this with an apology for long-winded, rambling answers. Getting my thoughts straight over the past few months have been very difficult due to how much stress I put myself through over concerns with Jade's mental health. So overall, I'm feeling incredibly emotionally drained by the situation. I was honestly during the whole deal probably not thinking straight myself. Like having to play telephone a bunch, essentially, is what I subjected myself to. And that probably made the situation a little bit worse as a result. And by a little bit, I mean, like, miscommunications abound and causing even more spiraling. Like, I don't think I helped all that much. And that also, like, kind of weighs heavy on me. Kind of very much hurts that I couldn't have done more to help. When I'm the one that is basically stuck to Jade's hip like near 24/7. So, what you can expect from me like further.
We'll hold up on the expectations.
Okay.
That's in another slide. But we just want to do wellness checks first. So
Wellness checks first. Gotcha.
yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. Either Penny, AA, or Roski. Either one of you.
Hello. I am I'm not exactly sure how to describe how I'm feeling. I'm very tired. This whole thing has caused me a lot of stress, and things aren't really looking good, but I think things can get better. It's just, it's I guess I could describe it all as a tragedy. I did everything I could possibly do to help, and I don't know. I just wish that I was able to help more. It's just, sad to see it be like this.
For sure.
But I'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Penny. I appreciate that. I know you've got a lot on your plate, a lot of which is out of scope of today's Q&A, but I definitely know that there's a lot on your mind, and you're hanging in there, and that's really what I can say that most people aren't doing. So cheers to that, and
yeah,
hopefully things are going to be brighter going forward from here. Oski, AA, either one of you?
I guess I'll go first.
All right.
Compared to the others, this may sound a little cold, but because I had just finished my bachelor's degree this past semester, and even before that, with the burnout, I just kind of wasn't really around for much of anything for the past 2 years or so, and so I don't really feel attached to this. It's if I had to describe it, it's like watching a train wreck in front of you. It's horrible what you're seeing, but you can't really put yourself in the position because you're not really there. That's sort of my perspective on it.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't imagine you being anything but indifferent in this situation. You really weren't. You were only involved for the side project, and after that, we didn't really bother you for anything else. So, yeah, can't say there are any surprises there. Oski, what about you?
I feel like I am the least involved in this, considering I haven't done anything for the game for 5 years. It does feel bad seeing how everyone else is going through it now, and I can't help but feel bad. I wish I could have done more, but I just didn't, and I do apologize for that. That is it for me, though. Otherwise, I am just okay.
That's good, at least. I mean, I'd rather not everything be all doom and gloom, so the fact that both of you are doing, semi-decent, that's pretty good. It's always a good sign here. For Jade, if you were still here in chat, if you wanted to answer specifically how you're doing after the decision to disband, you can share that here, but for now, I will... not much less frustrated. Reading what Jade said, not much less frustrated than I was at the start. I understand well now that I've had time to ruminate that people from every single step of the process are afraid of being chewed up by the exact development, drama, work opportunity, and publicity pipelines that led to indie products and dramas like this. These moments can tear up relationships, friendships, and brands. Yeah. I will say that decisions like these can do tear up people's friendships and drama. Xysspon, what is it? My epilepsy is known issue, and it's been made as clear as many teens. Wow, my epilepsy is a known issue that I've made it clear. Wow, I can't read. Xysspon as it. Oh my God, there's too many messages going on at once.
Do you need help?
No. You're good. My epilepsy is a known issue that I've made clear to as many of the team members as possible. It is illegal under the ADA to discriminate based off these in any state. It's a good thing none of us were. Keep going. Xysspon as a distinct legal entity hasn't been able to prioritize things such as photosensitivity features in the game as a result of the coding capacity of the game being stunted from a direct lack of funding. Before the team had moved to disband, everyone involved was preparing to draft the resources necessary to give the company a more rigid structure preceding the launch of the Ko-Fi, as I know that with the launch of a public funding platform for the company arise more legal obligations. I'm just gonna remind, before I read this next question, I just want to remind that I am not a programmer. So, and in terms of photosensitivity, that's on the programming team. That is not on me to do that. But because I don't even know where to start on that one. We'll keep moving here. Skill. I can't laugh at that. Okay, that's crazy. Wow. During the development of Harpy Gaiden DX, it was revealed to me that one of the musicians, Oliver Nakamura, had not only directly copied entire songs from other musicians, but had reissued them to me as if they were her own. Plagiarizing, for lack of better words. Oliver was grandfathered into the project development out of a want to keep in development titles under the Harpy branding, but had steered me of signing contracts following the beginning of the company's stricter you need to get a contract involved policy had started cementing in the minds of certain people in the company. At the time of her not only joining development but ghosting the development team, this was mostly done through more casual verbal agreements that weren't able to be enforced through ID verification. As DID is treated as an enforceable under the ADA, and I know that framing it as a disability is offensive to some people who deal with the symptoms of it or are even diagnosed with it. But the medical world controls a lot of the terms we are forced to operate on. By the way, for those who don't know, I'm reading this chat from our Twitch chat. I actually, you know what, I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably publish this as a highlight so you guys can see this. But, actually, you know what, I have an idea. Give me a second. I have one that's just my chat. Let me go ahead and take a look at this. Alright, there we go. So, now if I transition, you'll be able to see chat as well. As DID is created as an enforcement under ADA, I read that already. Medical world controls a lot of the terms we were forced to operate on. I had to take as much time as I could to learn how to ensure it is enforceable through a company structure to make sure I wouldn't be insensitive as contractors made their opinions on their gender identity headspace and how they wanted me as their higher up to accommodate that for them in a workplace environment. Some other employees were difficult to pick up on the subject as urgently, and I regret not holding a stricter line on that. I, alongside the help of Alula, worked to find the origins of many of these tracks. I just want to remember you, we're just answering the first one. Keep that in mind. We are just answering the first question here. Other companies or employees were difficult to pick up on the subject. Okay, there we go. I, alongside the help of Alula, worked to find the origins of many of these tracks, but didn't have the resources to do an in-depth investigation on the sources of each individual file, including ones that originated from between the release of Harpy Gaiden and Harpy Gaiden iOS port to Kickstarter. As a consequence of Discord's shifting information gathering practices, cool, I read that right. We would likely have not been able to find the person involved without Discord revealing their hand on their extent of the current data collection, MO. I have no interest in getting in any legal disputes involving Discord, as I know getting dragged into legal action with a company of that scale would only escalate the situation into something difficult to let anyone steer their lives away from in the event they wanted to move on. Okay.
Okay, so that's definitely all related to Oliver.
Yeah, are you reading from the slide? Natalie, I'm reading, for those watching at home or watching in the chat, I'm reading from the Switch chat. Yeah, you're good. Quite frankly, Alula, the reason why I don't have Jade in voice is because I know it's gonna derail, and that's why I'm not having her in voice chat. We're not derailing this. I do want her to type. I asked her to type this to me for that exact reason. Great question though, Alula. I, a lot of what she mentioned just now is, I'm not saying not all of it is unrelated, but a lot of it is. Because the question was, how are you feeling? So, I'm also not in voice because you guys are going to hear you smoking. Okay. So you're... Alright, so even more of a reason to not have you in voice. I don't want anyone to be high or of anything when we speak this here, so... we'll keep it going. Future expectations. What's next? What can you expect from each of us? So, future expectations from Harpy. Now, to be determined, we honestly don't know what Jade's plans are with the intellectual property in terms of Harpy Star, Harpy Gaiden DX, nor the entire franchise. Which she'll probably share in our Twitch chat today. But, if I go over to my notes here. Would we create a solo sequel? That depends on the person, so I'm gonna read out... I'm gonna give you my answers first, in terms of, like, our FAQ internally. How are we, more importantly, what can we expect the rest of me as individuals? For me, I'm probably gonna go focus on my actual job, which is, I work in a call center. But I'm also gonna focus on my own communities and the same meetups that I've always done, things that I've been doing even during my time in Xysspon. Will I be with another company? Maybe. I mean, I know Alula and I have been cooking something up, so I'll probably read what she has to say on that one too. But, we'll let that settle and sit for a bit. Jade, if you want to do me a favor, I would suggest you announce this, Q&A in the official server. Possibly with an everyone ping. That might be the best thing you could do for me right now. Because this is, all the people that could be here are here, and the ones that aren't here have written down stuff for me. But in terms of what does it mean for us as a team, I'd like to stay with a good chunk of people. I know Alula's my ride or die. I'm not leaving Alula, but I know a lot of the people here, many of them which I will either see them in other capacities, like AA I will see in other capacities, or in some cases I will just either stay acquainted or anything like that. I have no promises in terms of staying as a team, because I know I kind of like doing my own thing, but my own thing is very different from what other people on our team are focusing on, so I can't guarantee anything. I know Osky, who I don't talk to a lot, when I've seen Osky's work, I will definitely be, bothering him for artwork whenever it comes to my own community stuff. AA, I see him anytime I do anything Team Mod Loader related, so it's kind of hard to escape him. Penny, she's just my friend.
Wow.
You're just my friend.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I talk to you.
I talk to you too.
Bing, bing, bing. God, let me stop stimming out. So, the only thing that's like a question mark for me right now, and this is nothing personal to you, Bio, because I've said this to you before, I don't know if I'm gonna keep talking to you. I don't know. And it's just because, like I said, I'm a strong believer of the company you keep around you says a lot about you. I don't know if I'll keep talking to you. This will probably be as far as I know, this will be like the last time I'm probably going to be speaking to you necessarily. If you have any, it's not that I hate you or dislike you or anything like that. I just probably won't talk to you that much. Because the only thing I might talk to you for is maybe art, and that's it. Because I know you're in a situation where commissioning you is probably going to be the best thing I can do. But like, I just got no interest. And again, I hope you understand that it's not like a personal thing, but I do want to definitely tell you, like, in terms of like where I stand with team members, that's pretty much where we at. Let's go ahead here and read the other people's answers here. I will start with Marrel. For Marrel, said, well, she plans to continue making games. She has a vague idea already, and would happy to be working with other members of this fund in the future. As for given the opportunity to make a Harpy Gaiden DX, if not a Soul sequel, she might take it. I think it could still be finished. It's just a matter requires certain circumstances first. Actually, while you're here, Jade, I'm gonna give you the former Xysspon member role, but I will not give you executive because we had asked you to step down earlier. So, going over to Alula's answers. I had to remove message history. What does this mean for the team? Despite the whole ordeal, I consider most, if not all, the people I met at Xysspon my friends. This includes Jade. I'm certain we will work on things together, given the opportunity. If given the opportunity, would you be working on releasing Harpy Gaiden DX if not a sole sequel? The release of Harpy Gaiden DX relies mostly on Jade, as the intellectual property owner. I personally would like to get the game out. I'm personally not interested in working on a sole sequel of the game for various reasons. And finally, I'll read Loon's answers because she had to step out early today. And in terms of what you can expect from her as an individual, she's personally going to be working on her career as an art teacher. But in terms of more content creation, she'll probably be focusing on her YouTube channels. As a team, what does it mean for her? If things with Jade get better, maybe they might stay together. But right now, it doesn't look like we will stay together anyway. If given the opportunity, would you want to work on Harpy Gaiden DX and on a soul sequel? She would love to, or soul sequel, just not with Jade right now. And that's everyone who isn't here. All right, rest of you guys, you can pick out who wants to answer first, and then we'll work from here.
So the next two questions would be next, right? Like, if people are fine with me going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, y'all can expect art from me, mainly because I accepted a heck ton of commissions due to, like, stress buying things. Like, I probably also going to continue developing games, but more than likely after a somewhat significant break. So mainly because of the large queue of comms, I'm obligated to fulfill them first and foremost. For me, the team always felt like a fem group first and foremost, as opposed to a company and dynamic. Like these are people I enjoy being around and talking with, as well as working with. Jade in particular is my closest friend. I absolutely don't condone how others have been, how she's hurt others, but I can't bring myself to abandon somebody that I've spent nearly 5 years of daily voice calls that go on for hours upon hours with. It's my hope to see Jade get better and for things to not return to the status quo, but something better than before. But I entirely understand the need for distance that other team members might should they have any need for them. They aren't obligated to be near Jade as she betters herself, and I respect any decisions they made above my own hopes that the team can come back together at some point. For me, I'm all for trying to get Jade to a better spot to where she's better able to handle things. So we're also answering the
Yeah, this is all the questions from here on out. So yeah, the ones that I had you write down.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. It is entirely my goal to see Harpy through at some point. So with the story that Jade wants to tell, specifically Harpy Star. There are limits to my current capacity as a programmer, however. It is difficult to say what direction the game will take at this point. I don't really know. The game evolved into a lot more within the 5 years that I was a part of it. And to see it through, I'd need to bulk up on deeper level programming skills to get things working how we want in terms of aesthetics, considering how a lot of people are distancing themselves from the team. Personally, I missed the workflow that GameMaker provided, and the visual aesthetic right before the engine switch was my own personal favorite in terms of environment. But with the switch to Godot, things became more ambitious, and as a result, more challenging to implement. So, but that wasn't a sentence that makes sense. My bad.
No, it's okay. No, I think you did a good job so far. You keep going if you have anything else to say, by all means.
All I know is I want to make something that makes people feel something, that they can look at as an overall enjoyable experience. It's why I create things. It's why I focus on making my art so good. It's why I like it was part of the like me being part of the problem and for like getting the game to into this cycle of perfectionism. So like it is absolutely my hope to work on Harpy still. Like it's the thing that I want to do. So yeah, answers are done now.
I appreciate it, Bio. Honestly, I mean, I respect your decision to having distance with a lot of the people that do need it. It means a lot both to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the rest of us as a team. I appreciate it a lot. I mean, it does go a long way, and I know this is... I've always described it like this. Watching this entire thing is like watching like a family member have a stroke and then waking up being the completely separate person. It is not an easy pill to swallow, so I understand where you're coming from. You're not alone, and I am thankful for the fact that you are able to coherently and, more importantly, confide in those emotions with us here today. It does mean a lot, and cheers for that, dude. I really do. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyone else who wants to go ahead? Penny, Oski, AA. Hi, Penny.
So what? This is just the last, the
other questions that I didn't ask you. Yeah.
Okay. I think I wrote something pretty clever. About what to expect from me. I said I don't know what to expect myself. I never really plan when I make things. So I guess expect something unexpected. I really enjoyed working with y'all, even for the short amount of time. I enjoyed working with y'all, and if the opportunity comes up, I would love to, work on other stuff. I mean, we did, me and Bio and Marrel, we worked on the game jam, and that was very fun. I would work on Harpy with like a really big asterisk next to that. Like, if there was something Harpy involved that I could help with, I would love to, but I don't think I should be associating with Jade. I don't want to. I don't think that's a good idea for me, and I just it's more of just a dream for me at this point. But yeah.
Thank you for that, Penny. I mean, it definitely, for you at this point, it kind of is, and definitely there's a lot of emotion that go into it, because I think you've been through a lot more turmoil than I would say a majority of the team, at least early on.
Yeah.
Your turmoil started like 2021, so
my term 2021. My turmoil started in like 2019.
Really?
I'm an old head, I guess, at this point. I have
folder.
I don't know what happened in 2021.
In 2021, that was when I did the whole DMCA nonsense. And that's when I did that. That's 21.
That was 2020. That also happened in 2020.
I have my folder. The last time I touched it was 21.
No, there was DMCA stuff in 2020. I guess what I should say is that.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's 2020. You're right.
I have very sentimental feelings about the Harpy series and Jade's work. Despite, recent, well, not just recent, but just personal issues, despite hang-ups with Jade herself, I do very much appreciate her work. And if there was a perfect world in which, things were nice and I could work on a cute little Harpy game, that would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I had to say.
What's that? I love I'm reading the text chat where it says the team allegedly agreed to disband. Can I just get verbal confirmation that I spoke to pretty much everybody in here about this? I think the only person I didn't speak to right away was AA. I think I told AA, specifically saying that we agreed to disband on the 3rd. and I give the 72
You
hours.
spoke to me. You spoke to me real early.
It was ASAP. As soon as I said, "Hey, this is not working, and I don't think this might be better in the best interest." I just want to get
she
that.
got that from me like seeing like the moment that I saw the
Yeah, and you were one of the first
like-
people that saw it, so.
yeah like in the group chat specifically.
Yeah.
That's like the like I'm guessing that she said allegedly because it is and technically an allegation that it happened to
Yeah.
her knowledge. So
No, I think it's just it's always better to get that confirmation saying, hey, this was all of us, not just one. I mean, I had to cycle even the group chat because there was like 12 people. I had to kick one person in, kick one person out, vice versa, as we were doing all that. So
Yeah.
no, I remember that. I'm glad. Glad I'm able to really cement that self. And I'm reading the Twitch chat here. Be it logistical issues or one to intentionally stress the rules of the local system to see if the Florida 15th Circuit judges would have ruled in favor of the state's lack of legal protection for this type of disabilities and identities that were present on the team. This leads to a situation where Xysspon itself could become responsible for a massive loss in workers' rights in Southeast United States, risking further damaging the outwards appearance of everyone involved. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, honestly, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Jade, at this point, you're fucking smoke. Oh,
She is
You're
smoking.
smoking.
She is smoking.
Jade,
She did say she's
Jade,
smoking. So
you are
Yeah, but I curse, and it's
catastrophizing.
like a stream.
you can. I've swore like
Okay.
4 times already. You're fine.
Oh,
You're fine.
Jade, you are catastrophizing a lot. I do not think that you should smoke weed ever.
Genuinely,
it's definitely not health argument.
I don't think it has done much, if anything, good for you. But what do I know?
Like, when did it start? Like 2 years ago.
It was at a convention, maybe a
It
year or
was
two
at
ago.
Homestuck.
And yeah. And I was of the opinion that I definitely shouldn't have been. And I think that's when I saw that the health was declining. But hey, again, I'm not gonna tell someone what they can and cannot do with their life. I will always say that if you want to, by all means, even if I think it's not gonna be well, that was written when you were sober. Either way, Jade, you're not helping your point. You saved it in Notepad++. Either way, not helping your point, but that's okay. I'm not worried about this at this point. What is said has been done. It's what has been said has been said. This has been, again, this is going to be published. Again, I'm not worried about that. Who else hasn't gone? Oski and AA, I think it's just up to you now at this point.
You want to go first, or should I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess that's me. Okay. Well, you can expect me to just keep working on art as I have been. And not much else, don't. What does it mean as a team? Do you find plans together? Probably not, unless I'm very much asked by the other members, not Jade. And the last one is also the same. I will only do it if I'm asked by other members.
Yeah. You kind of answered both questions in one.
Yeah.
You're good.
No, I don't got much else to say. I'm not feeling very involved in the entire situation.
Yeah, you've been kind of like not here for the last 5 years, so again, I'm not gonna press you for more information.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I'm entering the workforce after getting a degree. It's given me a lot of responsibilities and a lot less time than I used to have. And I mean, maybe if a project comes up again, maybe I'll be able to be part of it, but right now I don't really have any personal incentive to really start anything or really do much going forward.
Fair enough. Just going ahead and reading Jade's answers to some of my questions here. one of which was removed, which I'm not sure why she deleted the comment, but I'm gonna read it anyway because she answered it. It is certainly something, Aaron. And I have evidence that this was in here, and I'll even include this in a in the PowerPoint in a moment here. But I asked Jade specifically, how are you feeling specifically after agreeing to disband, because whether she likes it or not, she did agree by this. Gamer culture, crunch culture, ableism, and many of their most toxic characteristics found themselves manifest during the development sprints that were regularly demanded to showcase the game at public events. While there were good first impressions, there was a large decline in group cohesion as the rendering pipeline of the game came into question. Seeing the doxing of other publicly known queer creatives that's gone on this summer has shown that when companies like Xysspon attempt to platform people from this community and navigate through an increasingly flooded market, there will always be intimidation tactics deployed to dismantle teams like this. A lot of what stressed the team was the sheer difference in skill between Marrel, Alula, and Bio, and having to train Bio to look out of them. I know many worker co-ops had formed in the past with the intention of making sure that each person spent as a trainee and voices as employees and contractors would allow them to be as transparent and forthcoming as possible, but this only ended up creating a type of tension you'd expect in boardrooms and shareholder meetings at microscopic scale, with less money at stake. Nobody's particularly interested in taking out loans. It's not something hobbyist developers are equipped to deal with, and for the most part, how the lifestyle differences of each programmer enforce them into different niches, creating codependencies between the development team as everyone came to get more used to their ship of thesis code base. Imagine, in parentheses, imagine how Half-Life's code base grew out of Quake's, but with meticulously translated game maker code that was built on top of Harpy Gaiden code base, which itself was built on top of the other two preceding Harpy games. Anyway, keeping going here. What's going to happen to the official Xysspon server? There's two versions of this that are very different from one another. No, they're not that different. But, what restructuring happens in a server will only be able to decide it after internal restructuring with the remaining team. I'm gonna stop reading this for a second. I'm gonna comment. There is not a single other Xysspon member that is in the official server, and the development server minus Alula, who was just invited only recently, and me, who's in the official server now after I've been unbanned as of I don't know when. But I can think of no ways to make it a fun place, but there is only so much you can work easily with Discord spots, and only so many people that could create their own. For now, all I could ask is wish casting for what people want to see expanded on Harpy Star, writing-wise, gameplay-wise, and I've been hard at work tying together the loose ends of the plot more broadly over the past months, so we'd be able to better focus on what effort goes where. Let's see. While Alula and Bio are still planning on working on Harpy Star to help the demo out, it's safe to say no matter what happens, there will be a continued hiatus wherein I continue to stockpile assets for the final product, work on commissions, fight against California's saturated job market, and try to become more financially independent of my mom. Xysspon status as a company would be reinstated soon. Unfortunately for Alula and Sydney, those cards I made are under the Xysspon branding. The remaining team I will need to take time back. Well, the remaining team will need to take time back to take a more structured approach to the development pipeline that decides what gets produced, when, and by who, likely requiring a large expansion in what type of information is collected from each team member for the sake of letting us make schedules in a way that's non-intrusive to everyone involved and tempers the expectations for those involved in creating the public-facing marketing aspects for Xysspon, Harpy Star, Azarashi, and etc. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'll disclose this since you're here. I will say a lot of this didn't really answer what's gonna happen with the Discord server. I'm just gonna say that right now. Number one. Number two. I've said this in the stream before. I'll say it again. Should you be willing to go ahead and take and keep posting as if nothing ever happened to Xysspon as an organization, I will have no choice but to take my hand and do legal action from here. I'm going to leave it at that. And advise you proceed with caution. That is not a threat, that is a promise. I have talked about it here before. I'm going to talk about it again. We as an organization are done. If you want to make a new organization under a different name, sure! But, it's okay. We will keep it in mind. Anyway, I asked Jade one other question, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I did. And that didn't get answered. Crazy. Alright, so the other question I asked was, what can we expect from her as an individual? And we don't have an answer for that one, so we're gonna keep moving.
Is it true that Alula and Bio are working on Harpy Star?
No, not as far as I know. Lula, you can confirm with that one. Bio, you can confirm too. Not that I know of.
I said that I want to at some point, but I'm currently on hiatus from it. And I have been very persistent in telling Jade that I'm not working on it at the moment. I am on hiatus.
And should you at some point ever decide that you don't want to continue working on it, I assume you'll just say something, whether it be on social media or just as an individual?
Yeah.
Okay. Alula, what about you? I'll read what you say, don't worry. Are you currently still working on Harpy Star at all, or do you have any plans to do so, Alula? Okay, well, I guess Alula's okay. Well, while that happens, Jade did answer my final question. What can we expect from you as an individual? The money from Masarashi all went to Alula and Pixel. I took no income from that project despite my involvement because I was afraid of overstepping given how many options he has available to him already. Publishing with the shaky foundation we had was enough to worry about. I felt helpless since both musicians distanced themselves following Harpy Gaiden DX's development, drawing out longer than a couple of years. The happiness to work on the project changes on a moment-to-moment basis. In the process of trying to retrospect on my own identity following I'd learned about DID, PTSD, and the subjects that are less discussed on their impact on identities and selfhood, such as men's rights, immigration, quote, brain rot, addiction, and sex trafficking. I've been called slurs I'd never been called before, and been accused of crimes I thought reasonably wouldn't be possible for someone in my shoes to commit. There are still parts of my identity I don't really feel comfortable talking about with a public setting. I'm aware that as money continues to find its way into the industry, the stakes will be raised by all parties, private equity, companies, journalists, and more broadly, people interested in the future business moves of smaller teams put in stressful socio-economic situations like the ones that are developed. Harpy Gaiden reported as Arashi, there will grow an increasing urge to get flighty politically or financial. What does that have to do with anything related to the identity part's the only part that's semi-related to. What? I don't even know what I'm reading. I don't think I understand what I just read. But I read it.
Jade, you still happened a bit of a...
Did you forget that? The internal dialogue that started over the use of AI? No, I don't even know what you're fucking talking about. But I'm gonna keep moving on because these are not making sense. Yeah, this is exactly what I expected. Truth be told, this is exactly what I expected.
Boy. I'm guessing the stressful situation has caused her to revert back. She was doing better before.
It's okay. Thankfully, this is the last time we'll be speaking about this. So, thumbs up. So, in terms of expectations for Harpy, and specifically Kickstarter backers, which is probably the most important thing here. So, yes, PowerPoint, Jesus. Yes, there will be backer refunds. Wave 1, I'm expecting to be able to do my back. I'll be doing it because I'm contractually obligated to do the refunds according to Kickstarter's guidelines. So I'll be able to start Wave 1 on Kickstarter backer refunds on October 2025. Because there is a lot that is going in and out due to my own financial situations right now. I won't be able to start Wave 2 in January 2026, but by the time Wave 2 is done, I should be able to refund every single backer. So, at that point, you're no longer on the hook for a game that if it doesn't release, great. If it does release, cool. You know, you got that going for you. So, with that being said, all right. The floor is now open. Questions, concerns, comments that are unrelated. I'm not reading. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna read them. But This is the point where I would love to go ahead and, answer any questions, concerns someone has. I know a lot of our backers and a lot of the community members aren't here because, Jade's refusal to cooperate, especially in terms of, announcing that this was happening, is unsurprising. But, you guys have any comments, questions, concerns? We, what is it, the 7 of us? 6 of us now. The 6 of us will do our best to answer, what we can. You know what? I'll start with a fucking question. After all this, how are we all feeling? How are we feeling? That's what I want to know. Oski, I'm expecting you to fucking say indifferent. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm expecting you.
I guess I am feeling hungry. I have not eaten.
No, I am also really hungry too. Don't lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm starving, dude. I know after this, I'm gonna get a big ass meal.
Oh yeah.
I honestly do not know if I'm feeling any emotion at the current moment.
That's fair.
Totally understandable. I mean, I think this was cathartic until, we saw her answers to the questions, so,
I agree.
Yeah, it was pretty cathartic. We're like, hey, we're getting it. We're all closing. They're tying the loose ends. And then Jade's just not answering all the questions. We're like, God damn it. So close.
I feel...
It was, like, you don't get it. Like, I was able to have, proper conversations with her for, the past, couple days. And it felt like, yeah, Jade's coming out of it. Jade's coming out of it. And then, boy.
But this is exactly what we talked about, too.
I understand you want to be hopeful.
I know, but, it was for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah.
I guess just having to, help with avoiding stress is going to be something important, I guess.
I didn't really experience that. She's still been sending me memes. She's still been spamming memes.
Oh, she's been doing that because she's desperate for people to, she doesn't want to lose her friends. And she's kind of doesn't, know how to properly go about, apologizing, I feel.
I think an apology would be very warranted, but at this point, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oski, you had something to say a moment ago.
No, I forgot it.
Damn.
Not bad.
It's okay. No, I can't say, that any of what is being posted here is a surprise to me. One of the things, and I know that even though it was a prolonged, it was 2 weeks or something like that, maybe a week or two, of consistent, coherent messages. I literally, I said this internally because I also, in the group chat, I even said, I'm like, this isn't going to last. As much as I would love to say it will, I've seen this internally enough times to say, it won't. It's one of those things where so you can only do so much before it ends up being something that you're not gonna expect at all. You can't change someone. You can't, really influence them, and they're not gonna change for you, and they're not gonna realize that if they did, because if they fully, wholeheartedly do not believe they did anything wrong, they're gonna ride that coattail until they feel they did something wrong. Maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years. In some cases, they might not ever realize it, but that's okay. It's one of those things I said to everyone in our group chat. All 12 of you, I'm like, we can't control how Jade reacts, how Jade responds, or how Jade answers anything, but we can control how we respond to it. Does that make sense? We can't. If let's take easy example, not something that has happened in recent times, but it has happened in at least the last 12 months. Say if Jade calls us any of a slur, we couldn't stop her from doing that. That's one of the things. We can't stop anyone from doing whatever they want on that aspect. But in terms of what we can do is how, more importantly, say, wow, is this something I want to put up with, or do I want to go take my business and go elsewhere? And that's kind of what I think the collective, and I could say almost unanimous at this point, have done. I think the only person that's still even vaguely on the fence is just you, Bio. But other than that,
I have a high tolerance for it, mainly probably because I have the privilege to be able to.
yeah. I mean, I have the privilege of giving that much tolerance, but I don't want to, because I want to give myself the respect that I deserve, and I've been burned, hurt, and disrespected enough times to where I don't put up with that kind of behavior. I never have, I never will. Or I'm sorry, I never will again. Let me clarify. I definitely have put up with it before, but no, it's Go ahead.
I'd like to do whatever I can to help, but when nothing I do is making any sort of change and the only result of it is me going through pain for not much of an outcome, it's really just me getting hurt. And, you know, I don't want to put myself through that just, for nothing
I will
to change.
say, the things that she was typing out in response to the questions, those are the things that were going through her head as she was like having this like mental episode, from what I can gather. That is like what she was thinking about, like as she was like going through all that. And that's what she was trying to communicate. Again, not communicating it well at all, communicating it horribly, in fact. Like, it's taken so long to piece together what she's been trying to say. At this point, I'd recommend like maybe speech therapy would be the proper thing or something. If I like, she needs like to get that stuff under control.
I think she needs more general therapy. Honestly, I guess this is personal. I don't need to talk about this, but I don't think it is just an issue of communication. I think it is more than that.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunately, like the way that like her current therapist thinks that she's over therapized or something, if that's the word. I don't know.
This is a publicly streamed event is also preventing everyone from being as forthcoming as possible, as the nature of where it is being logged is directly going to lead everyone withholding meaningful information about certain events that went down. I mean, that statement isn't entirely incorrect.
Hey, Jade, I don't think you want me to be forthcoming.
I don't think you want any of us to be forthcoming. Because if you want me to be forthcoming, I would have just brought up all the issues that I've talked to you eternally. I don't think you want that. And it sounds like I have an ego when I say this, but I have spared you in ways that I don't think you are ready for me to dispel in the public. And I don't want to do that. Alright, I'm not reading that. One of you can read that. I'm not fucking reading that. Everyone, yeah, that is a threat. Everyone
not reading that shit.
Yeah, for those at home and those watching in the VOD, basically we just got threatened with, I'll fucking say it. Yeah, we got threatened with pedophilia allegations if anyone decides to be forthcoming. Which is crazy. And this is exact kind of behavior.
As a general threat to it. It sounded like a general statement on the nature of how this goes down. At least to me.
She said, and I quote, "Everyone gets pedophilia allegations if anyone decides to be forthcoming. Full stop."
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that?
It didn't sound like as if she was like a gangster holding up the Tommy gun. Everybody gets it. That's not the way that my brain interpreted it.
I sure hope so.
But,
I sure hope that's the case. Because threats like those are the exact reason why we decided to disband.
I'm not quite sure why pedophilia is being brought up at all.
You were in a relationship with Oliver and she lied about being 2 years older than you. It turns out she was 2 years younger than you. Okay? What does that have to do with anything?
I see the accusation was edited.
I'm gonna transition here. You have RL stuff you had to need to couldn't say it. It's okay. Thank you again, Aqua, for being here. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, goodbye.
So yeah, it was nice being here.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Think I'll make my departure soon too.
It's all good, Oski. I mean, again, we'll keep in touch because I definitely have some stuff for the commission, and I'll probably be bugging you a lot for community stuff because I definitely think you're a great artist. I just never had the chance to commission you.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah. Again, I'm really happy you're able to do this full time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your lunch, evening, whatever it is that you choose to do.
Yeah. To y'all too. Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye, Oski.
Bye bye. I think we'll wrap this up in maybe no more than 15 minutes. Or
Cool.
no, top of the hours when we'll wrap this up. And then, as I gotta get food, I gotta get ready for another presentation I'm doing in 2 hours from now. But, let's read the rest of this. There's a lot of blackmail structurally underpinning the assets that went into Harpy Gaiden itself. It's not worth the risk of the reporting given all the baggage of what the game's code base is going in. Lower scope projects are wanted by lots of people involved by the market is being flooded with the art community's money and the AI community's money. There's more competition than ever for an art. Now our code base Harpy Star is being placed in direct parallel with other more large scope platforms coming out. The dangerous market as of now. I don't know how that's entirely relevant. But that's okay.
I don't think there's much to say about any of that.
Yeah.
Besides, like, go outside.
Jade, I think you're bouncing from topic to topic, and it's becoming very difficult to follow your thought process. I think you might want to step back and calm down. Because you're having a very difficult time communicating things. Because I'm noticing that you're starting to make more fragmented points. Again, it's starting back up again. You probably should step back, try and collect yourself.
Yeah.
Because I can understand that, but it's not relating to what we're asking at the current moment. And it's like there's a tangential relation in that, yes, a lot of assets like for Xysspon, for like a lot of Xysspon stuff got yeeted out though. But things that Ollie like have produced, like you want to keep distance from like any potential baggage that game maker like overall provides.
Yeah.
Like I get that now. I didn't really get that until now. Like why you might be feeling that way. But I do want to state that, like, yeah, you might want to step back, calm down, stuff like that.
It's okay. I'm honestly glad that she's kind of is doing, as much as I don't think she should be in here, I'm kind of glad that she is here in the sense that I'm able to, pinpoint how exactly it's been. The opera situation is primarily initiated by me. I got zero reason to care about what goes on with her and the engine, but more so resulting in the game feel. I just said that I hate opera, dude. I said that I hate it. I didn't say that we should switch to Godot. Let's clarify on that
Yeah,
one.
that was Alula. That was Alula.
Dude, I said I hated Opera because I hated their browser specifically. Opera GX, the community behind them, I fucking don't like them. And I have my reasons to not like them.
Yeah.
But Opera GX is tangentially related to game makers, development and production.
Yeah. Like it's like again, the company bought out Game Maker. It's not like they shoved Opera developers into Game Maker. They are like handled by basically the same team, if I remember.
And as far as I know, Opera hasn't had any layoffs recently. So that's okay. I've got all of this.
I do like there are some aspects of the game feel that I do enjoy for the newer version that would be good, but there's certain aspects of the gameplay that I really enjoy about the old one that are present in the new one.
It's okay. I'm gonna be realistic with you for everyone that's here. I'm pretty sure that after all this is done, this is gonna be attempted to be swept under the rug, just like everything else has been since we started. Since we announced this disbandment. So disbandment, I should say, not disbandment. It's a different word. But that's okay. I'm at a point where we've got all this, you know, live recorded stuff like that. You know, we can have all this published. We'll be okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm pretty sure I have some wooden boards to move that I've needed to move for the past 3 hours. So
No, you're good. Let me build the newest version of Harpy Star. Looks like buns physics-wise, and I didn't like a lot of the mouse controls. Yeah, I agree. I didn't like them either. I honestly only saw them recently, but
yeah, I didn't like the mouse controls at all at first either.
I wasn't a fan of the mouse
tooth and nail
controls.
against that for the longest time.
yeah, never been a fucking fan of it. I'm like, how is this gonna work on mobile? That was what I was thinking of when I got it. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, how the hell is that gonna
was
work?
supposed to be for mobile?
We never thought of that.
Yeah, that was my whole thing, because I never even knew mouse controls were a thing until they traded the recent build, and I'm just like, what the fuck? How are you gonna play this on mobile, huh?
There were like bad performance issues, like computers.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, that's from the loading system. That's something that we still needed working out. That is entirely why I was not confident that we could get the demo done, by the way, because having that loading and having that during a public presentation, having that low level loading lag for that small of a chunk of a level is unacceptable.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. I just wish that something existed for the fans and for the backers.
Yeah. Right now, as it stands, Harpy Gaiden DX is lost media, as it stands.
Yeah.
I
So-
would
Jade, that's not an excuse to go posting it. Just saying that right now.
I mean, at this point, if she wants to, I don't care. She can do it. I'll honestly, I'm encouraging it. Go ahead. Go post Harpy Gaiden DX. Now, by all means, if you want to say that this is what you're doing, then sure. But I hate lost media. I hate lost media more than I hate a lot of things. So
I think, circulate the tapes. If I had the legal right to, I would do it.
yeah, I would too.
I would pay money for the Harpy IP, and if everyone was okay with it, just release it all.
I mean,
I just wish people could experience this stuff. This has been the past 5 years of Jade's development.
yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that I said. I'm ignoring what you just said because it's not relevant. It's the same exact thing that I mentioned too. I mean, I was like, yeah, the plagiarism thing I honestly didn't know about until late 2024. But I mean, I'm fully here for releasing Harpy Gaiden, even if it's just like freeware shareware type shit. I don't even care.
Yeah,
dude.
even if it's just the stuff that already exists, just throwing out the prototypes. This is practically a canceled trilogy of games almost.
Pretty much. And I'm like, there's no harm in doing it, but unless it's just like, rah, the game is bad, therefore it should never be shown. Which at that point, that's a different conversation. I don't care if it's bad. I mean, if people like what they like, sometimes people like slop games. I'm gonna keep dunking on DVD if I keep talking.
Even bad games deserve to be preserved. I don't think Harpy Gaiden DX is a bad game, but games deserve to be preserved.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to be like, Papa Ubisoft and shutting down a game and then making it unplayable. But hey, what do I know? I want to stop killing games. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's true. They do play Blade Rot Tung Saro games, bro. This is true. That's okay.
Okay, yeah. Definitely have to bounce now. So
All
thank you
good.
for having me. Thank you for the 5 years. Yeah.
Enjoy your wood panel moving. I hope you are able to take this healthy break. Okay, you're being called. Get out of here. Enjoy. Bye bye.
Bye, Bio.
There you go.
Oh, Alula, since you're back, I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but you are not working on Harpy Star currently, right?
We're gonna technical stuff, mostly engine. Okay. But not anything right now?
Yeah, because Jade said that you and Bio were, like, currently, like, post-dissolvement working on Harpy Star.
That's crazy. That's a crazy statement to make.
I feel kind of
like
stupid even asking this question.
No, it's
honestly.
okay.
I don't
feel stupid.
think this is true.
Don't feel stupid for asking, because I'd rather you reprove that on a recorded line, saying, yeah, no, this is not what's happening. And
yeah, get the facts straight.
Yeah, because again, it's one of those things where I don't want still shot the shit about game design and writing ideas. It's just one thing about talking about game design and ideas, it's another versus actually developing the game.
I see. So I guess this is how Jade thought that I was going to be the future of Xysspon.
Jesus
because
Christ.
I would talk about ideas sometimes.
Penny, when you say it like that, it just sounds like a WWE promo. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What?
I am the future of the WWE.
No, she told me that I was gonna save the games industry. She's telling me it was all on me to save the game.
Save the industry. I am gonna be the... Fuck. I am the visionary. I am the revolutionary. I can't see it. This is a fucking WWE promo, bro.
Give me the IP. I'll make Toots too.
Well, technically, Toots is your own thing. You could do that.
I can't do that. There's too much of the other stuff in there.
Who said you need to put the other stuff in there?
I've wanted to, but that was years ago, you know?
That was... Alright. Well, I want to take some time, because we're getting low on time. I want to say thank you to everyone who attended. Thank you to everyone who gave some information. This VOD will be publicly available both on my YouTube, the Xysspon YouTube channel, and finally the probably on social media too. But I want you all to be fully aware that the majority of us, I can't even say the majority, now it's all of us, are all either on hiatus or have disbanded from the organization. Any other contractors that could have existed, which by the way, every contract you've signed as far as I know has been put through me. So, as far as I know, there are no other Xysspon members that aren't, officially labeled that are staying. Again, I want to thank everyone who showed up. I want to thank the people who were here and following me throughout this whole thing. Shout out to the people who were supporting all of us throughout this whole thing. I know this was very stressful, and all of us, there's only so much we can do in terms of empathy, and I want to thank them for being here and thank them for, their support. Backers, I wish I had better news, and I apologize to each and every one of you who weren't able to actually see the product come out in full. Will you see it eventually? Maybe, but I can't promise anything. Alula, my goat, and then Penny, my friend.
Yay.
Thank you, both of you, for sticking it to the end. I know this was way longer than I think any of us anticipated. I was expecting it for it to be an hour. This was not a fucking hour. This was not an hour. This is 2 hours, 50 minutes. But with that being said, all of you, I hope you enjoy your evening, afternoon, whatever time zone it is for you whenever you're watching this. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Natalie, who stuck here throughout the majority of this entire dang thing. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, girl. I appreciate you. But no, that being said,